Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 91.
Don't need 91.
Fedorov. Mark Savard. Tavares.
I said Tavares.
I said Mark Savard. Sagan.
Sagan. Fuck. No, not anymore.
Why not?
He's 16 now, isn't he?
No.
Fuck. I fucked that up.
Pavelski is.
Damn it. You're right. Never mind. Sorry, as the Canadians would say.
Sorry. Happy holidays to everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Not
the
to half our
Canadians.
audience.
The Canadians already had their Thanksgiving. What do the Canadians do on American Thanksgiving? Do they watch football? Do they go to work?
Yeah, no. When I was in Windsor, they celebrated. I had two of them. So I didn't even know what was going on the first time. Like, why are we celebrating? Oh, this is Canadian Thanksgiving.
But it's on a random day, right? When is Canadian Thanksgiving?
It's in October somewhere.
Know?
No, but it's in October somewhere. I remember that.
October.
And then we have ours, and they always would like go above and beyond to like celebrate with me and stuff like that. I just loved it, man. They just took care. Oh my god.
Oh, because it's American and whatever.
Fuck yeah! And I was the only American, in the house, and they would have all the guys over. They have turkey. They would spend more money than they're fucking making from Windsor just to satisfy me, and it was awesome, man. This was cool.
So you'd have the whole team over?
Oh god, yeah.
Like who? Like Otter?
No, Otter was gone by then. This is when I was.
Spezza?
No, he was gone. But I was with the captain, David Bowman, and we were staying. This was after the 95-year-old couple that.
Oh, this isn't them.
This is after. This is when I got away.
Why'd you move?
Because Andy, my parents didn't like them anymore. They watched me sleep. They would give me food that was like recycled from 4 days before, and I'm like,
Well, I'm making sure there wasn't like a tragedy, something bad happened.
No,
or whatever.
I got into a fight with them, and
You did?
Yeah.
They're 95. They're old people.
They got weird with me, man. I swear to God, it got weird.
Hey, you know what? I've heard of stories like that, though.
Dude,
you know,
just listen to me
especially
on that.
when you're going away for the first time. The
I'm
billet
17.
experience is so important.
Andy, I walk in there. My parents are so lenient, dude. I'm 17. I'm already wild as shit. And I go into this 85-year-old couple, I should say. And right when I walk in there, take your shoes off. I'm like, okay. Well, now you got to take those shoes and you got to take them down here and put them there. I'm like, oh, okay. And then my showers are only 4 minutes long because I've saved water. Then I'd wake up and she's like watching me sleep and shit. And then like, where you going? Where you going? I'm like, fuck, I'm going out. So I'd have to lie to him and be like, I'm going to go get ice cream.
Yeah,
with
you
fucking
told that
the boys.
story
And I'm
before.
like, and then
That's not true. You weren't going to get ice cream.
No, I wasn't. Ice cream.
I believe that story.
Smashing
Actually.
women. And then girls would call.
Is this when you were like hooking up with high school principals or something?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, that's a serious matter.
I'm
you don't
dead
wanna,
serious.
You don't want like an investigation to happen for
No,
these,
I don't give a fuck. I'm
ladies.
fine, dude. I was a big boy at that point.
Okay.
I'm not a fucking kid at that point.
Okay.
I grew up quick, and that was fine. But then the girls would call the house, and she'd be like, hi. Like, is Cam there? Cam's going to the bathroom right now. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, why are you saying that? Cam's going to the bath. Like, why would you say that?
Because you didn't have cell phones back then.
Fuck,
eh?
no. I had a cell phone, and it didn't work in Canada. But before I signed, I acted like it did work just so I looked cool in front of the girls. That's that's how pathetic I was. Like, I was pathetic like that because I always wanted to show off because that's what you do. Like, you don't know me yet. I got to show off to you. And the girl's like, no, you don't, dude. We know who you are. Like, you don't, like, fucking figure it out. And it just was like a learning
so how'd you
curve.
get out of the situation?
We had a big fight.
Did you go to the team?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Because that's what you have to do.
I went to the team.
All the kids out there.
I went to the team. It wasn't that bad. But I was 18 then.
So break down the fight. You got in a fight with who?
I'll tell you. I was 18. I was drafted. I was signed. Got a couple $100,000. I'm like fucking. You're already gone, right? When you're drafted, you're signed. Like you're gone from juniors. Juniors, you're 3 years there and you're done. So it's like, what are they going to do? They have no leverage over me. The team had no control. I mean, no control over me at all. I'm already doing what I'm doing. I'm already gone to the next level. So I'm trying to do I'm a man, and they're treating me like I'm a fucking child, like an absolute child. I was a man 5 years before this when I was hanging out with my mom and dad, who were
with Chaz, yeah.
Which, oh God, anyway. But now I'm like, I'm going out. I got money. I got a big fucking SUV, and they're like, wait, this is curfew. I go, get the fuck out.
Curfew.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Is there such thing as that in Canada? Do Canadian kids have curfew?
It's like, you think Mike Kelly, our GM, who I love and adore, who helped me so much, is going to call you and ask where I'm at when I'm 18 and say, it's not happening. I'm going with my buddies. I'm hanging out with the girl I just met.
What happens if you don't meet curfew?
Not for me, nothing.
They take away like your privileges.
What are they gonna do? Bench me? The last time they benched me, Andy, I told you I was in the.
I'm talking about the billets.
Nothing. They're gonna call the team, and the team's gonna do something. That's what it is. That's their leverage.
Take your Nintendo away.
When I was 17, I remember I was with Frankie Redeker, who was a young 16-year-old kid, big redheaded, goofy-looking motherfucker. Sorry, dude, but you didn't make it near a first-round pick. It's all good. I got to chirp you a little bit. He was my roommate. We were in Sault Ste. Marie. All the psycho fans came up from Windsor. That I shouldn't say psycho, but all the big fans came up, and they were in our same lobby or our same level, and I brought them all into my room, drinking, smoking cigars with them, listening to music with all the super fans. And I bring them all in my room with Frankie Redeker, who's 16 years old. We're smoking cigars.
First round pick of who?
Of Windsor.
No, he was a first round pick of Windsor. I thought you meant he was a first round NHL
He's
pick.
an underager, dude.
Okay, I got you.
He's an underager. Red hair.
Is that a big deal? Like in junior, like do you
time.
know the kids who are the first round picks?
Damn
and
right
stuff?
you do.
Really?
Fucking A.
That really matters, huh?
Absolutely. He's an underager. He's 16 years old.
Okay.
So he's sitting in my room, and I get all these fans in there, and I'm fucking. That's how I am, man. I'm always like that, Andy. You know that.
You're still like that.
I am psychotic with the fans. Like I love it. It brings me joy.
I'm surprised you didn't bring the people downstairs, like in Clayton, just hanging out in the middle of Clayton. Bring them up to the office.
That's what I do.
To watch the podcast.
I brought them all in, and we're smoking cigars and drinking.
Which we might do, by the way.
At 17, and I have a 16-year-old with me. And then Mike Kelly walks by and sees it. How my door's open. There's just cigar smoke everywhere. There's booze everywhere with all these not weirdo fans. I shouldn't say that, but like super fans.
Super fans. And super fans have a tendency to be a little bit
weird.
different.
Now listen to me.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I mean. Good, thank you for that. There's some of them were fucking weird. Okay.
Yeah.
They're psychotic.
All right, so
fans.
what'd your GM say?
So he comes by and he's like, he walks in. He's like, "Oh, get out! Oh, you get out of here!
Oh, really?
Get out of here! Oh my
Really?
God!
Oh,
Yeah,
he's pissed.
Cam, I need to talk to you."
Okay.
So he sits me down. He's like, "You're suspended next game in Sioux. You're suspended." I'm like, "Okay, sorry about that, man. Sorry about that, Frankie. Sorry, dude. I'm a bad influence. I didn't mean to.
What about Frankie?
Cares? Who gives a shit?
No, but he didn't get suspended.
Fuck no, it's not. That's me. I'm the older guy.
But it's his room.
Dude, that's my room, Andy.
Was he partying with the super fans?
Yeah, but he's not getting suspended, dude. This
All
is
right.
on me, Andy. It's my fault. Damn it.
Can I ask a question about Frankie real quick?
Yeah.
First round pick, bust. But did he score in junior? Like, was he one of the best
I don't
players on the
remember.
team?
Andy, I don't remember.
You don't know-
He was a defenseman, I think.
Oh, defenseman. I got you.
I don't
You don't even know what position he played.
I don't even remember.
Dude, that's terrible.
I know. But then, so they...
He's your roommate. You don't know what position he played?
Nah, he had a big head and he had red hair. So they suspend me a game in Sioux. The guy, Dominic, I just did a podcast with him. Dominic, I forgot his last name. So I'm suspended. They're like, we need somebody to do color with us on the radio.
Ah, yeah.
So they bring me up on the radio, and I do color, and we couldn't discuss why I'm suspended. But everybody's asking why I'm suspended, but I'm still doing color and like shooting the shit with them and not injured.
Did they announce
so bizarre.
publicly that you were suspended?
I think Cam's sitting this game out is what it was. And everybody's like, what the fuck? And then he's doing color, and he's like lively, and he's not hurt. So what did he do? And it was just kind of a big thing. And that just showed that, like, you're in juniors, it's not college, man. Like, when you sign, and at the time, I don't think I did, but that was going to happen.
You think in college they treat you more like men
no,
than they do in junior,
no,
or the opposite? What do you think?
No, I think
what are you saying?
in juniors, they have no control over you. What are they going to do to me? Suspend me a game? Then I go do color with the fucking Windsor color guy?
You just wonder, because, like, if I'm the GM of that team, and if you're suspended, then all of a sudden you're doing color.
It's ridiculous.
I'd have the play-by-play guy's ass.
What do you?
What are you doing bringing him on the radio?
Funny how that works. That's what I mean by that. So if you're like, I went to college and I did, you had to get up and go to class the next day. I'm walking into high school with my big Suburban with a phone that doesn't work, but I'm acting like it worked. And I'm parking in the teacher's parking lot, and I'm walking in a private school, St. Joe's or whatever the fuck it's called, with a USA jacket on and jeans and my hat backwards, and they did nothing. And I just sat there and flirt with girls the whole time. And then after that, we go hang out and party with the guys. And I go out to the clubs all night and then take girls back and then rent hotel rooms because I'm not staying with my billets. And my billets would call the team, and the team would be like, okay. There's no control. Now is different. And I'm not saying Mike Kelly didn't control everybody else, but as me, personal note, like, it just was crazy, man. It was crazy. And I don't know. That's just how it was. But
how
I
was your
it out.
color commentating skills?
Oh, fucking terrible. I was probably
Did you submit that to the Blues when you interviewed for
and
the
that's why they
commentating
and that's why they didn't hire me.
You say, here's my demo tape.
Here, fucking Becky, I'll fuck that guy up. Jesus Christ.
What was it like not playing? That sucks, eh?
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Watching?
No, embarrassing. But then they bring, again, like when you fuck up like that normally, you're not on color. You're sitting in a fucking thing doing workouts and doing a bike for 80,000 minutes and getting tortured.
It made me think of this. I was listening to an interview yesterday. Somebody from an NHL, I don't really want to say, but we're talking about a draft pick, a guy that was picked who has injury history. And, there's a lot of question marks. How healthy will he be? Can he play this year? Wherever he's going to play. Is he healthy enough to play? And he wouldn't identify the injury. He kept saying upper body. And I'm like, will you stop saying that? Will you stop saying upper body? Upper body, lower body is one of the dumbest things ever. I want to get your take on that. But here's a guy who's never even played a game in the show, just got drafted. Dude, anybody can Google and find out what the hell his injury is. And you're saying upper body about a kid. What, is the team going to fire you?
Is it his ear?
If you identify what the injury was that this kid suffered long before he ever was drafted by an NHL team?
If his arms are long and he's got a finger problem, is that lower body if he puts his arms? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I gotta go.
I hate that.
I gotta go lower body. If it goes below the waist, what's the cutoff?
Your penis.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so
if I get fucking smoked in my groin, that's a lower body, homie.
That's the lower body.
But the point is with that whole thing too, like NFL's like, no, this motherfucker's fucked up. Why? Because you're betting on him.
Exactly.
You got gambling. And NHL doesn't have that. And too bad it doesn't, because if it did, there'd be a lot more people watching. There'd be a lot more people betting. There'd be a lot more people interested. But you're like, lower body. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I'll tell you a true story. I remember, the Blues, and every NHL team was doing the upper body, lower body. Yeah. And when Ken Hitchcock got hired, all of a sudden he started just publicly saying what the injury was. And I said to him privately, I said, they don't like you saying that, man. They like you saying upper body, lower body. His response was, I don't give a shit. He's like, I sound so stupid saying upper body or lower body. He didn't care.
But I'm Lou Lamoriello.
But then you know what happened the next week?
What?
He was saying upper body and lower body.
Well, funny how that works.
He wasn't saying knee injury, ankle injury, whatever.
I mean, Lou was just like the biggest stickler in the world with this shit, dude. Like, especially injuries. Like, you don't
say upper body or lower
Lou
body?
Wouldn't even say anything until the last second, or whatever he could do to get away with not breaching that code of like, here's what we know, here's what you know. and he balanced it the way he did, and I get it. But now, where we're at now, I need to know the injury, man. Like football, everybody does it.
How do you look at hockey coming up right now for this season?
I don't even think about sports, dude.
I know you.
I'm not gonna. Want me to tell you? I talked about this on my radio show today. I don't even think about sports.
You talked about this yesterday, too.
Fine.
I think you talked about it the show. Like Cam, he loves being on the air so much, he'll stay after his show and do another show and then talk about the same stuff he just talked about. And then the next day, he'll talk about the same thing again.
No, I talked about Viking shit today, homie.
Actually.
I do a show every single day, unlike you. But the thing is, I can go on forever because I have a lot of shit, and I get up early at 6 o'clock in the morning. I take my notes down.
You get up at 6 today?
Yeah, I did, motherfucker.
What are you reading this morning?
Oh, just fucking bullshit. Let me look at my notes. I'll go down my notes right now and fucking tell you right.
You get notes on George Parros?
I got to. I'm gonna just go. I'm just gonna just talk lively with him.
Cuff with George.
I'm gonna be off the cuff with him. You talk about the internal shit with him. I don't know how to present those questions the way you do. But I don't even.
You do.
What do you mean?
You do. You do know how to present the
not
question.
real. Not with like detailed. What'd you do with the NHLP? Like what? I don't fucking know, man. I just don't know that shit. But I said that people aren't interested in sports right now. They're not. Look at the numbers. Now hockey, when it comes back to normal, but you want to watch a fucking college football game and you got your head quarterback out with COVID, but he's on the sideline with a mask on, grabbing guys and like hugging them and kissing them. But then they lose Clemson because their star quarterback with COVID's out. But does he have COVID? No. But then he's still touching and grabbing the guys on the sideline. Like, if I'm on the sideline, like, get the fuck away from me.
The whole thing's so weird.
It's so weird.
I ran into a player the other day. We were talking 15, 20 minutes, good conversation, whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, if there was a camera here, like if a camera showed up, we would have to all of a sudden be in like separate rooms. Yeah, but right now I can talk to you, social distancing, and being responsible. But if there's a camera, now all of a sudden I've got to get in the other room.
Here's what I don't.
I can't be near you.
I know.
I'm not allowed to be near you.
And you know what? We're going to get locked down again. Canada's locked down. We're probably going to get locked down again.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Can I give you my take on how things are going to go with the NHL?
No, but I'll tell you this right now.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, in the NHL?
Yeah.
I was going to talk about you like lifting weights or something, but go ahead.
No. And here's my guess. And as we speak right now, the Board of Governors meeting's going on, so who knows how it's going to play out. So I'm not going to sit here and say this is exactly the way it's going to be. But when Bill Daley comes out and says that they fully want the season to start January 1st and go through April, that tells me it's going to be a 48-game season.
Yeah, we've seen that before. 95.
We have.
Yeah.
48-game season, get the playoffs going. And it looks like, right, we've heard about all these different divisions, the Canadian division, whatever. Maybe go to a city, play a handful of games, come home for a
like
week.
Like baseball.
Whatever. Go back to a city, stay there 10 days,
or whatever.
Play as many games as you can over the course of that time period. We've seen all that. But you know what's going to be interesting, Cam, is how the players respond to this. You know, it's one thing for a player who's in the final year of his contract, but then the big contract that he just signed kicks in the following year.
Yeah.
He may say, all right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, let's just get this year. Because you're
Maybe
losing a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking a pay cut. You're paying a bunch in escrow. You're paying taxes on that escrow.
Yep.
Like, all of a sudden, that $5 million salary that you're making
1.3, baby.
is just going down and down and down and down.
1.3.
So, what's a guy like Alexander Ovechkin, who obviously is chasing a record, so he may not be the best example, but Carey Price and some of these guys that are making big time money. And the average fan won't understand this, and even I, to an extent, don't really understand it
Don't
either.
disregard the average fan. They're smarter than you think. We got Canadian fans
I know,
here,
but
baby.
they make so much money.
Okay.
When you're making $10 million a year or whatever, and all of a sudden you still get to bring home $5 million, the average fan may say, what's the big deal?
You make $10 million, you're already taking home $5 million anyway. So cut that down to 1.7.
Okay, but here I'm just throwing it out.
You
can do the math, whatever.
No,
I'm just saying
not gonna do the math.
you're taking a serious pay cut.
Yeah.
Those players who have a ton of money in the bank and are making a ton of money, and now they're losing a year of their contract because of what's going on right now. Is their attitude, yeah, let's go ahead and play the 48 games? Or is it, you know what, let's bag the season and come back next year? So I'm not losing a full year off of my contract, and I can still make that money that I'm supposed to be making next year. You know?
Okay, here's how I look at it if I'm a player. I'm fucking miserable. Okay, everybody's like, come on, Cam. You know, I'm just letting you guys know. Mm-hmm. If I'm thank God I played when I did, and I did what I did, and I made my money, spent it, made it back, fine. But if I'm a player now, and I'm thinking, like, what the fuck am I doing? Where are we going? Where do I have to do? Family gone again? What? I got COVID hospitals fucking packed everywhere. I got to travel. If I had a lot of money, I'd be like, I'm donezo. No, hear me out. If I had a lot of money, I'm donezo. Like, I'm fucking kicking my fucking feet up and getting away from all y'all. And I love you guys. But I'm chilling with my family. I got fucking 40 in the bank. I'm good. If I had 10 in the bank, I'm good.
You're saying, let me know when we're back to normal.
Let me know when I'm normal. And I'll keep.
I'll be there.
I got my garage here. I got my shit. I'll come back and play a couple more years, make a couple more $1 million, whatever it is. But if I'm a young kid, I'm like, I'll do anything it takes. But I just feel fucking horrible for these young kids. My first game in Madison Gardens with packed house, celebrities, my mom and dad there. I'm a fucking crying. And you're just feeding the energy.
And now your parents can't even go to your first NHL game.
They can't even do anything. They can't see your preseason. My dad flew in for preseason games just to see me fight.
I know, man. It's so weird like that. We don't look at it like that.
Makes me want to cry.
But, you know, so, listen, for all the super fans out there, including Cam, listen, I hope we see hockey.
Yeah. I'm not a super fan of sports.
And we are going to see hockey. What the season looked like, you know, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. But that's my guess in terms of how things are going to play out and where it's going to go. But all I'm saying is, as far as I know, as it sits right now, I don't think the players have necessarily signed off on anything. And what you're going to eventually start hearing now, it's no different than what took place several years ago, man, when you had guys making a ton of money. You had the big dogs who, didn't have a problem with missing a full year. Remember that? I mean, guys were telling me who were making a lot of money throughout the season before the 04-05 lockout, we're not playing next year. Like, they knew it, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to have a good chunk of players right now who are saying, what are we doing? I don't want to play.
I don't want to play. I got a little bit in the bank. I'm good. I could do this. I could do that.
So I'm supposed to make $9 million, $10 million, and now I'm going to take home 4 or 5 and go live in a hotel and go back and forth. But
That's a different story. I told you, those kind of guys, you want to make that money up. But if you're making 500, 600, 700, you're bringing in 200, and you're stuck for 9 months. Like,
but do they have a say though? Do those
no,
guys
they don't have a
say?
say. They don't have a say. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man.
But
I'll go to Russia and play then.
But here's what's going to happen. And listen, I've talked to people around the league who say, hey, listen, how do we play without fans? So I think I don't think they're approaching this like we're going to have a full, complete season without fans. At some point during the season, you're going to see the league transition into playing in home buildings, in NHL arenas, in teams' home cities.
Really?
And hopefully there's some fans in there.
Do we know that?
That's what they hope. That's
Andy,
that's their plan.
We're going to get locked down here for another 7 weeks. And you think these people? You think there's going to be fans in the stands? Are you kidding me?
You really believe that?
No, yeah, they're not.
No, you really believe we're going on a lockdown for 7 weeks?
My dad just got cut up for 17 stitches in his fucking chin.
Yeah.
I want to fucking hit him.
What happened?
Because he's on a goddamn roof. I could snap my fucking fingers, and anybody in my neighborhood could come back and help my father do.
You think you're the Fonz?
I'm the motherfucker. You in the blue collar part of. Get out of here. Get on with yourself.
You snap your fingers.
Everybody knows where I'm at. I could go out there and I make my little horn call, and they help my fucking parents with whatever they need.
Can I hear the horn call? Can I hear the horn?
Or I just go out there like, hey, all y'all, my dad needs help. And they all come and help him. My dad's on the roof trying to be a hard ass. Okay. And then he comes off the roof. A big storm comes in. The ladder cuts him for 17.
The wind blew the ladder over,
down
right?
And cut him over. I don't want him on the roof. I don't want a ladder near him. I want him sitting down and doing nothing. That's what the fuck I want.
I love it.
Motherfucker.
Cam tells me.
I'm going to fucking. I lost my mind on him.
Cam tells me. He's like, well, they treated him right at the hospital. Got him in and out because he's got the last name. He's got the last name. He's got the last name.
Here's my point I'm trying to make. My mom and dad finally have to leave their little cute abode that's right there in the blue-collar part of Eureka, Missouri. And they have to go to the hospital.
Was she making pheasant pie? Was your mom making pheasant pies that day?
She's texting me. I stay over on my show for another half an hour, and she didn't know I'm staying over. And she texts me the picture of my dad cut open. She goes, we're rushing Dad to the hospital. I'm on the radio like, and Charlie, all the guys are like, Kim, you okay? I go, my fucking dad, what'd he do? What'd he do? I call, I'm like, I'm on the radio. And then my mom says they go in the hospital, and it is jam-packed with COVID. I mean, fucking jam-packed with COVID everywhere. My dad's 66.
Is it because out where you live, no one takes they don't wear their mask?
No, Andy, shut your stupid mouth, dude. It's everywhere. Fucking
they're
idiot.
Just doing whatever they want. No mask wearing.
St. Louis County, dumb fuck. It's the same fucking regulations. So they go to St. Clair Hospital. It's so packed with COVID. I'm telling you, it's a big deal. And everybody sees my dad with the big scar, and they knew who he was. And they bring him in. They sneak him in.
What do you mean they know who he was?
What the fuck do you mean? What is his last name? Strickland?
What they all at the hospital? They all know that.
Hey, what? Want me to say it? You want me to tell a story?
What?
You want me to tell a story?
Hold on. Which story?
It's not good, and I don't know if I'm ready for it yet.
What story?
I went to that hospital twice in the past 5 years.
Oh no, I don't want you to tell that
story. Okay, we're not doing that yet. So they know who I am. My parents were there. Hold my hand. Okay, so they know who my fucking parents are. So my dad comes in with 7
you're talking about.
The workers at the hospital.
I thought you meant all the people
they do
in the lobby with COVID. They all know your dad.
Oh, no, maybe. But the people
workers
that work there, the
specify
nurses,
that.
Yes, sorry about that. Sorry. So they see him, and they knew that that's what it was, and they got him in and out quick because they knew that he's in that certain category where if he touches one of these guys, like, it might be fucked
and
up.
And how's he feeling now?
He's good.
Feels
he
good?
Looks like a badass.
Oh,
you fucking kidding? Now he's strutting around like a peacock around the fucking neighborhood, and all the buddies are coming out like, oh, fucking, you're tough, Denny.
Yeah, I had a couple of those.
Good God.
I had to get stitches in the face a couple times.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
The ladder hit you.
No. One time I got cut open with a skate.
Good for you.
And another time I got a puck in the face.
Here we go.
A puck in the face. Okay? At like 1 o'clock in the morning.
You're not 66 with COVID cruising. And they had to go to that my point in the whole story is that it was so jam-packed. And then my point to that story is, ain't no sports happening, homeboy.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
Let me just
so
say
we
this.
need to be creative and entertaining
general,
no matter what.
That's right.
That's what the fuck I'm saying.
Can everybody do that?
Can everybody do that?
That's the challenge. Can you be entertaining, baby?
Without breaking down a motherfucking game, can you tell stories? Can you be entertaining?
Without talking analytics.
He was -2, yes. Carlos Martinez threw the curveball fighting. Fuck off. Entertain me.
Hey, I had to call and confess to you. I was so embarrassed. I was so shaken up, just rattled. This had never happened to me in my life, Cam.
What?
I ran out of gas last night on the highway.
What are you, a fucking child?
On the highway.
What are you?
On the highway.
With a brand new car? Are you fucking dumb?
The car, it tells me how many miles there are. But it went from like 10 to 0.
You have a Volvo that probably has like 8,000 miles worth of gas. Are you out of your fucking mind? That's lazy incompetence on your part. And if I'm your fucking wife and you fucking run out of gas.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know.
Well, she knows now. I'm fucking texting her.
I haven't told her. I haven't told her.
If you run out of gas, you're an idiot. Unless you're living up in Saskatchewan where you need to drive 40 miles.
And there's no gas stations?
You are privileged here. You have gas stations out the wazoo. Not only do you have gas stations, Andy Strickland, you have gas stations that you could bathe in, that you could live in, that you could buy anything you want. You could eat there. You could feed your family there. You could fill your gas up. You could do whatever the fuck you want. We're in Missouri, bruh. And you run out of gas.
Bathe in it?
Why are we? You could bathe there because all the truckers do it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, dude.
Never heard of that.
God, you're privileged. Whoa. And you run out of gas like a fucking
That's called
fancy,
a truck stop, dude.
You're a fucking
Those
fancy
are truck
lad.
stops.
You're a fucking, I told everybody, all y'all, he's a cake eater. He runs out of gas after doing a signing, probably makes a couple grand. Then he's like, man, I'm going to go get gas because my Volvo will take me anywhere because I just tell it to do shit. Doesn't work that way.
Listen.
You're a fancy lad.
I'm coming down the highway. All of a sudden, it just starts, like, sputtering a little bit.
No.
And I'm thinking, I thought the backup engine was going to kick in.
I got to stop, like, bringing it down because we're doing anti-bullying stuff, and I keep calling you a dummy and shit, and you're smarter than I am, but you do dumbass shit.
Fight the ugly.
I can't chirp you that way, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you had warnings 50 miles before that. 50 fucking miles. They're like, Andy, it's your car. Pull the fuck over. Pull over, Clayton boy.
So embarrassing.
Wealthy part of Ladue now. Pull over. Nope, I'm not going to do it because I'm Andy. Because I'm Andy. I could do what I want. Car, keep going. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I thought I could make it to my exit.
Well, you did.
So anyway, I
hurt the podcast.
I hit the on-call button.
Embarrassing.
I snapped my fingers, actually.
No, you don't. No,
I snapped my fingers. Okay. And listen,
I'm joking.
5 minutes later, lights behind me, and I thought it was a cop.
Should have got pulled over for being an idiot.
But it was a MoDOT guy. His name was Chad. So big shout out to Chad for hooking me up and giving me some gas so I could get out of my way. I was only sidelined for like 5 minutes.
Embarrassing.
Is that upper body or lower body? We run out of gas.
That's upper brain body. That your brain's slow, which is fine, and I want to sure because mine is too. But yours shouldn't be. You're the smart one in the group.
Can I call Car Shield for that? Can I call Car Shield for that?
No, don't waste their fucking time on that stupid shit. Don't even tell them. Sorry, one of our biggest sponsors, you run out of gas like an asshole. No, and you're gonna call Car Shield for gas? Oh.
All right, my wife still doesn't know. All
well,
right,
I'm telling her.
Listen, man, George.
You're not
Parros,
getting laid for 4 months now.
George Parros, on this edition of the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Yeah, baby. RG.
Director of Player Safety. He's on that board of governors call right now.
Motherfucker ripped my shoulder out. I don't give a shit.
We'll talk about it.
He fucking ripped my shoulder out.
We'll talk about that.
Then I rocked him behind the net.
How tough was he, though? 6'5".
He's a big boy. He was strong. He went to Princeton, dude, so he wasn't a killer. So I was a killer at 9 years old. Georgie was like, hey, I'm going to be this, but I'm big now and I'm strong, and now I have to fight to make the NHL, just like a lot of guys. So he's like, I need to learn. I'm going to box.
Like most guys.
Most guys. Not the killer. He's not a killer. He didn't want to hurt you. He never got suspended.
Nobody is raised to be a killer anymore for the most part in hockey, right?
You figure.
Most guys who make it to the NHL, like you're
not
like
now.
You're like the exception.
Oh, totally.
Most guys who make it to the NHL were the best player at every level of every team they played at for the most part until they turned pro.
Nowadays, but you can still be the best and still be a killer, homie. Like in AAA, I was scoring goals and
stuff. Were you?
Like, yeah, big time.
Because
50 a year. Is that good?
You were awful yesterday.
Oh,
it was probably the worst I've ever seen you play.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Worst I've ever seen you play.
Oh, God, I got to bring myself down.
Can I just ask you one thing?
I pumped myself up because I did score 50 goals in AAA, and I had like 500 minutes of penalties, which I think is pretty good. That's why I got scouted. I fucked up last night. All you guys with kids and children that are playing hockey, yes. I want you to hear this. I'm playing with the alumni. I bring Andy out there. He owes me money. I score a couple decent goals. We're hanging out. I'm just like, this fucking not in it. I'm just fucking pissy. And then all of a sudden you get a 1T and your fucking stick breaks and it's $200 and you're like, fuck. And then you toe pick at the blue line because Andy goes off sides because he's a fucking idiot. And then you do this. And now I'm rattled. So at the end of the game, we are like 55 minutes into it. It's only an hour long. We're already gassed. We're going to have some wine and beer in $1 million locker room that we have because we're privileged because we have a country club for a locker room and hockey rink. And we're privileged. I got the little girls at Centene Rink. There's 4 sheets. What are they called?
The Lady Cyclones.
The Lady Cyclones. Oh, the little girls that
they're playing after our skate.
They're playing after us, and I always see them. And I give them hugs, and I give them my stick, and I
give
candy. And I give them candy, and I'm like, I'm Santa Claus. I love all you. And they all look up to me, and they look up to me, and they look up to me. And at the end of that game,
what did you do?
At the end of that game, I fucked up on a shot, and I turn around and I spear chuck my
launched it
like a psychopath, and then I to the glass, and it hits the glass. Then I go over and punch the glass and say, "Fucking."
Oh my God, that's the second time in a row you've used that word.
And then I admit it. I'm sorry. And I turn around, and the girls are looking at me and horrified. And I'm like, hi, I'm joking. And I freaked out, and then I had nightmares about it last night.
You really were upset about it.
I'm like, Kate, I fucked up. She's like, oh God, what'd you do? Like, what'd you do? I'm like, I spear chucked my stick in front of a little lady cyclone. She's like, oh. I'm like, no, but that's not good.
No.
And then I threw F-bombs out, and then I turn around, they're looking at me, and then I had, oh God.
You know what I noticed
Here's
about
the point.
you
No,
yesterday?
let me say this real quick. All you guys, and here's my point of the story. If you're a mom, dad, and your kids are in practice and they lose their mind and they get emotional, which was fine. We all get emotional. But if they turn around and break their stick on the fucking glass, you motherfuck them up. No, you lose it on them. Or they fucking spear chuck their stick, which is even worse, although breaking your stick costs more money. But it is so embarrassing. That is an immature piece of shit thing to do. If your son or daughter does that, you put your foot down right now. Don't be me. Be the opposite of me in the alumni skates. Be the opposite. Don't you ever let your kids do that. If I did it in front of Lou, the fuck on. I'm donezo. Don't you ever let your kids do that. I fucked up, and I'm sorry, Lady Cyclones. I love you girls. I'm going to hook you up with something. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe a pizza party? I don't know.
Well, you owe it to them.
I know. Now they look at me like
you
I'm
may have to dress like a
psycho,
clown
man.
next time you see them.
I honestly couldn't even...
So go ahead. What do you want to say to them?
Just say sorry.
Say you're sorry?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. It's embarrassing.
I had not seen you act like that.
I'm sorry.
You were so bad in yesterday's game.
I know.
And you know what I noticed about you?
What?
When you make a mistake, you blame everybody else.
Are you out of your
You fucking blame me. You yell at me. You point the finger.
Andy, you're lying.
You did that.
You're lying.
You point the finger at me.
You're a fucking liar. Who's the one that you got to put when I admit when I fuck up. Go ahead. Say it. And who's the one guy on the ice that actually compliments everybody that scores, either you're on their team or not?
You are.
Get out of here. So I bitch at you because I bitch at you. Stop it. Don't bring me down even more than I'm already down.
Cam turns the puck over. Fuck you, Andy.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that anyway. Okay? I'm going to say that anyway. Or Leo. Fuck Leo.
Oh, you acted like a Leo yesterday.
I was a Leo.
You played like a Leo.
That's what it was. I'll bring myself down, homie.
We were dishing, though. Dishing. Tic-tac-toe.
We made a couple good plays, but at the end of the game,
my legs were tired.
If your fucking kids are temper tantrum, banging their sticks on the glass,
my God,
you motherfucking put your foot down.
I have
now.
no time.
No
for
time.
Bad body language.
You're close in AAA.
Oh, dude.
What if the kids did that? You'd kill them.
They'd sit their ass on the bench.
Oh, they're gonna do mountains or something.
Well, they wouldn't play the rest of the game.
Nope. No. And you're costing your mom and dad money.
Zero tolerance. Because you know what? I already know you messed up.
Thank you.
I already know you did.
I know. You don't need to show me.
Don't let the whole rink know, and now you want to pout.
Body language.
Come back to the bench.
That is such a big deal. Just
when
remember
I see
all
it
this.
at the NHL level, I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
I'll give you the body language type. The me, 2-on-1, me. You see that? You put your fucking foot down. If they come off on a change where they didn't get anything done, they're hemmed in their own zone, and they come off and they're 20 feet away from the bench, and they do the old T-cut stop where there's like, you put your fucking foot down on that. That's the shit that you need to take care of.
It's always interesting because I see young players do that.
Pussy shit.
Even in the show.
Yep. Oh.
And then
boy.
by the time all of a sudden they get to 28, 29, 30, they're not doing it
They
anymore.
ain't do. You think Craig Berube lets that happen?
Hell no.
He got pissed at Patty a couple times.
Patty had an issue with that last year.
I know he did. I noticed it so much.
Not last year as in Tampa Bay, but the year before.
Yep.
And I remember talking to his brother about it.
I know.
It was like preseason, early in the season. I'm like, dude, don't do that.
He's cutting it 20 feet away from the bench
Don't
where
do
the guy's
that.
like, come on,
Dude,
come on.
You're an NHL player.
I know.
Don't do that.
I'm just letting you guys know. I fucked up. I admit it. If your kids are doing that shit, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. I'm going to have to do something with these poor little girls.
But what I like about what Patty will do, other guys, like especially in like a training camp scrimmage, younger guy or somebody who plays in the minor, does something like he will stare him down as he's going back to the bench too and stuff like that. Yeah,
but that's okay too.
No, I said I love that.
I like that.
I don't mind that. But the bad and listen. It's not just Patty, please. There's been several guys,
we love,
man.
Patty's our brother. That's
but
why
I don't see Patty doing that. And certainly by the end of the year, in the second half of the year,
there it is.
When his season turned around, it's so funny how the attitude kind of comes with it, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why they always say the game is so much mental.
It is. So if you see your kid or your coach and your kids are doing that kind of stuff, you gotta nip that in the bud. I used to think it was nip it in the butt, but it's bud because it's like a flower thing.
I still say butt.
Okay, so you're okay. So I'm not a psycho.
Nip it in the butt.
Okay, but I got corrected on the radio plenty of times. So my point is, you got
nip it in the butt.
Yeah, I said nip it in the butt. Why is it nip in the butt? What's a bud?
What's a bud?
I know what a bud is. Don't get me wrong. But put your fucking foot down, guys, and don't do what I did last night. And I apologize, Lady Cyclones. I love you guys. I'm gonna donate fucking money to you.
So listen, Lady Cyclones, just hit me up. You got my contact information. Cam will come out. He'll speak to every team.
I 100% will.
Don't do what he did.
Don't do what I did. Spear chuck my.
He threw his stick across the ring. What if that would have landed on one of those little girls?
No, I know it's not going to hit anybody. But then I threw the.
It could have.
I threw a mother.
Oh my God! I can't believe you said that.
I don't know.
That is terrible.
I know.
All right, George Parros.
Oh, Georgie. Hi.
On this edition of the Cam and Strick Podcast, Director of Player Safety. This is a big dog, man. He's an executive. He's got his own office and NHL headquarters. I want to know what the setup is like. Where do you work? Is Gary Bettman right down the hall? Georgie. Do you run into him at the vending machine?
Georgie, is your desk unbelievable?
Do you have a window?
Because of my suspension money, do you have a beautiful desk from all the money I gave for my suspensions? How nice is that office? Like, please tell me.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it here with Georgie Parros. As always, brought to you by CarShield. And carshield.com, 800-857-2481. We're going out to the headquarters, baby.
Yeah, we are.
Just a couple weeks. Can't wait for that. See Nick and Steve and the boys. 800-857-2481, carshield.com. Get your coverage today. Get protected. Structure your plan the way that you want it. You want it long-term? Do it. You want it short-term?
Fine.
No big deal.
Fine.
And guess what? They'll still hook you up with a rental, and you'll take your car to get repaired wherever you want it. 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM. Save 10%.
Yeah,
Save 10%.
Make it Andy.
Save 10%. CarShield and carshield.com. Bud Light Seltzer, baby. Ugly sweater packs available now.
Yeah, dude, I saw that today.
I'm hearing from some of our listeners, by the way, in the UK, they can't get Bud Light Seltzer out there.
Or Canada, dude.
Really?
Yep.
Our Canadians aren't getting it?
They're losing their mind.
Yeah, but I see some Canadians, they're smuggling that shit or something because they're like on Lake Saskatchewan, like hanging out with mango.
No, but yeah, because I don't know.
How are they doing that?
Other people tweet at me and they're like, Cameron, we can't get this up here, baby. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I mean,
we know what to do.
Well, just come down here and party with me. I mean, come on down. Like, I can't go up there, brah. They ain't letting me back in after 3 years in Windsor.
Peppermint? Is that what you said?
I believe so.
Really?
I think it's a holiday classic.
Oh, yeah. It's like
just popped
gingerbread.
Up. Yeah, they'll have like all kinds of shit. But you mix it with stuff, dude.
Yes,
it's a mixer, too.
Yes, you do.
You could do it with mango or any of that shit.
But they're cool-ass looking cans.
Dude.
The packaging's great.
So if you're having a party and you're having everybody over and you do all your stuff and you have those laid out in a cool bucket or something and there's like mixing drinks everywhere, like that's a fucking cool thing to have. Like you have variety. You got AB on that mug. It's Bud Light. It's seltzer. Like shit. People come in your house, you're like, oh shit, you're fucking, you're a big dog. What's up, baby? Seltzer? Shit. Damn. Dang, you are a big dog. No wonder we're at your house.
Black cherry, strawberry, lemon lime, and mango.
Mango.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Check it out. Get your ugly sweater pack today, baby. Bellman.com. Looking for that new ride? Head on out to Troy, Missouri.
Yeah.
You can get yourself a new ride in time for the winter. Listen.
Winter's coming, baby.
You have a snowmobile, by the way?
Why the fuck would I have a snowmobile?
I didn't know if you have one. You have a snowmobile.
Why would I have one of those?
Scott Mellenby has one.
He lives in... Where does he live?
Wisco.
Exactly. Why would I have a snowmobile? We get 4 inches of snow a year. We'll get ice once in a while.
That's not true. We get more than that.
Not really.
Oh, yeah.
Not for snowball. Okay, if I'm living in middle Missouri and I have a big farm and a bunch of land, and I'm like, okay, all the toys I need. Okay, boat, fuck yeah, let's do that, baby. We got fucking lakes everywhere. Ooh, a four-wheeler for sure. This, that, and the other. Oh, snowmobile for that 3 times a year. Get on with yourself, Andy.
Get on.
That's like 5 times you fucked up.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on one side of the street where it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the street, it's just as
shitty?
beautiful. It's just as beautiful.
It is nice. Yeah, very nice.
At the
it's nice up there.
Cadillac Buick GMC. I'm looking at that Escalade. I'm eyeing it.
You need something sexy,
though. Do I get the
though.
extended version? Do I get the smaller one? Cam's looking at that Buick Enclave with captain seats.
I'll get a fucking
third
pink
row.
one, dude, and still pump the podcast
Pearl
up.
white, something like that.
Andy, I'll drive whatever the fuck they give me, and the podcast will
Dude,
grow.
the Enclave is sick.
I need you in like a badass Escalade, though, in like 24s or something.
No doubt. Oh,
I need you to look cool.
24s?
Yeah.
Around.
No, actually, don't do that.
Don't
'cause you're
worry.
gonna be,
Don't
I know exactly what you're
one.
gonna do. You're gonna be fucking look like you're a.
Oh,
Get out of
I'll
here.
play some
like you're a gangster.
I'll play some Tupac in that.
He's like Tupac with the windows down with the bass going on, and everybody's looking at him like, "Oh, cool, you're cool." Little white boy from fucking
The
privileged town of fucking Ladue. Yeah, you know gangster.
Cadillac Buick GMC. Hey, listen, if you have used cars, they will buy your car right now. They want to buy it from you. And they'll give you top dollar for it, too. They don't mess around over there. Dan Bellman's the man.
He is, dude. Hockey dude.
Hockey
Shit,
guy.
yeah.
Been supporting hockey in this town for a long, long time. And now he's supporting us here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. We appreciate that, Dan.
Yeah, we do.
We love you, Dan.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you for everything you've done for everybody, not just us.
He was one of our first sponsors, man.
He is, man.
We'll take care of you, man. 100%.
He called right away and said, you know what? I like you guys. I believe in you guys.
Yeah, he did. He
did. Listen, any other sponsors out there, be like Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me that pink Jeep.
Give me that pink Jeep.
Give me that pink Jeep.
Cam's looking for that pink Jeep with 2 doors.
Yeah. 2 doors.
Small wheels.
Small wheels, small rims,
Soft
all
top.
that, all the jazz, and I'll still look shit kicking.
Soft top. All right, keepithandsome.com, baby. We love this, man. We're just expanding left and right. We got some special announcements to come out very, very soon with keepithandsome.com
big
with
time.
our Fight Ugly hoodies.
Yep.
Fight the ugly. What does that mean, Cam?
You fight the ugly dude and you keep it handsome afterwards, meaning like you fight the bullies and shit. Like you don't have to necessarily go toe-to-toe with them now. I know it's different. Like in the 90s, I had to stick up for myself because my dad fucking looked at me and he goes, you stick up for yourself. And I had to do it and I got 10 games for it and it's fine. But nowadays there's other reasons. There's other ways to do it, man. Like if you're getting bullied at school, you have to put your foot down. You have to. You can't let it happen. You don't have to rat on them. You don't have to do that. But sometimes you have to stick up for yourself. Now, not just go toe-to-toe with a big guy, but you have to stick up for yourself. And if you need help doing that, man, and you want to talk to somebody, I told you I keep my goddamn DMs open on all my fucking platforms. Twitter, Facebook, both Facebook accounts and Instagram. If you're getting bullied, your kid's getting bullied, have them call me. I swear to God, I will call him and talk to him, and I'll explain what I think you should do, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't, but you need to do something.
Yeah.
It'll ruin you. You have no confidence then. And all you bullies out there, by the way, you think girls like that? I mean, do you think God and what do you believe in God or I believe in karma more than anything.
There's girl bullies out there too.
Fucking
man.
A, they're boy,
mean.
and
They
you
may
got 2
even
little
be
girls
more
too,
mean, man.
and all you girls too. If you think you're a bully, do you think the people surrounded by you, and you're bullying people?
Surrounded
Sorry,
by you.
I fucked that up.
About you.
They're by you, and they're surrounded by you.
Yes.
And they're watching you be a fucking asshole to somebody that can't protect
And they
themselves.
respect you.
Do you think if you're a guy and you think hot girls at the school are like, "Ooh, I like you, you're a dick." It doesn't work that way. Not to mention, karma will bite you in the motherfucking ass, boy.
It'll come
I'll tell you
back.
that
It'll come
right
back.
now.
It'll
bite you in
may
the
be
ass.
tough at 10 or 11.
You think you're fucking cool at 10 or 11, because you grew and you're bullying these little poor kids. You motherfuck. Karma will get you.
Parents get a hold of your kids.
Yeah,
too.
and don't act like you don't know what's going on.
Check this out.
Don't
You
act
buy
like you
your
don't
Fight
know.
Ugly hoodie,
Thank
which
you.
is sick, and we're getting it in the hands of more and more NHL players too. You'll be seeing that very, very soon. We love it.
Love it, dude. I
With
love
Fight
it.
Ugly. Check it out. KeepItHandsome.com. You can buy your hoodie. at Amazon too.
Yeah, dude.
You can
Everywhere.
buy it there. Amazon.ca,
Goes to a great
Amazon.com.
cause, man.
KeepItHandsome.com. Get your hair products too, man. Get all the gels and everything else you need.
Smell handsome.
Get the head balm. Get the
beard balm.
beard moisturizer.
Yeah.
Which I use every day. My beard is fucking good.
I'm looking at my engineer right now. He's got a fat ass
Looks
fucking
good.
beard, sick ass hair, and he's bragging about his fucking beard.
I smell so good, man. Honestly, I smell better than I ever have.
You do smell decent.
I mean,
You do smell decent.
ever since I've had to keep it.
It doesn't
handsome.
mean you're cool.
But get your Fight Ugly hoodie and take some photos, man, and hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. We want to see those. We will retweet those. We'll post
absolutely.
those. We love it. Get it now. We know people have been ordering left and right. We appreciate those of you who have done so. But make sure you mention the promo code Cam and Strick. You're going to save 15%.
Yeah.
So do that. Keep it handsome.
We got a couple cats. Who's the Hollywood cat?
Dude, Jax Taylor.
Yeah, man. Handsome bugger he is.
Real Housewife.
Badass hair.
I
love it. I love the Hollywood folk, man.
Oh, yeah.
I want to team up with you.
Vanderpump Rules is the show.
I want to know how you, like, what's it like? I remember going out there and stuff, but I like seeing guys that are, like, kind of Hollywood. Love hockey, man. Like, it just puts a smile on my face, dude.
No, he's a big hockey fan. I think
I
he's
like
a Red Wings fan. Former goalie.
I think he lived in Detroit a little bit.
He was a goalie.
Was he a goalie?
Detroit.
Yeah, he loves it, dude. I don't know.
Detroit
I like that stuff, dude.
To SoCal.
Yeah, man.
That's a transition.
I got questions
That's
for
a
this
transition. That's
like when you walk into a bar of fucking chicks, it's like, oh, there's that Vanderpump Rules motherfucker. I want that dick. Like, how does that work? Like,
well, we'll have to ask him.
Anyway,
we'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so keep it handsome. Be sure to check that out. Support the cause. Proceeds go back to the Montreal Resource Center, man. So that supports and helps kids out who are suffering from people trying to be bullies. And bully's a nice way of saying what?
Just being at your dick, dude.
Okay.
And karma gonna get you.
Karma's gonna get you.
Oh, it gets me.
Or you know who else could get you?
It's me.
You know who else could get you?
Who?
Georgie Parros.
Shit, he got my
this
fucking
edition
ass.
of the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Georgie. What up, big
What's up,
boy?
gentlemen?
What up, man?
How we doing?
Where you at, man? Where you living?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee right now, actually.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You threw me off with that area code. We're thinking you're in on the East Coast.
Yeah. You're in
New
Nashville.
York. What's going on in Nashville right now? You
This
live
is the
there?
work phone. This is the work phone, and it's connected to New York. But if I changed phone numbers every time I moved around, I'd have 1,000 phones on me, I think.
You know, it's amazing how many people do that, by the way. You know,
Yeah, please don't do that, 'cause
Just
it's a pain
getting
in the
guys
ass.
on the show. I mean, there are so many players I've reached out to that have like 6 or 7 different numbers. They've changed the number all the time.
Yeah, don't do that.
So why Nashville?
No.
We've had Ryan Smith who have been on with us. Other guys who have also moved down to Nashville. Brett Hall's living down there. I don't know if you run into Hawley or not.
Chassez living down there.
But what's up? What's up in Nashville? Why Nashville?
We came down here. We got a place here a couple of years ago. Weren't planning on being here full time, but when COVID hit and everything, it was a great place to escape to. So, been out of the city since then and hunkering down here.
Isn't it different though? Like Nashville's so slowed down. You still got the downtown. If you want to go watch a country music scene, you could go do that. You want to go out in the mountains and the hills. Like, where do you live exactly? You in the hills? You got a big lake behind your house? Like, what? Like, give me a setup.
When it's open, when the economy's open up and everything, yeah, Nashville's great. You go downtown, do all that stuff. But in today's environment, it's nice to be here because we're in the sticks, kind of. We're 35 minutes south of downtown and lots of open space and open air, and the kids can have a little bit more of a normal existence down here. So I love it. Lots of space to roam and spread the wings a little bit.
Well, they got like 4-wheelers. Like, what, you got acreage? Like, the kids play hockey?
No, I'm still in the neighborhood near a golf course, and you just a lot of more open air and more room to breathe than in New York City. That's for sure.
Oh God, yeah.
Wow.
New York City's tough to deal with, eh? Like, is it though,
Especially
Georgie?
now.
But even now, though, but even like, okay, if you're making $7 schmil a year, you could have a driver, you could stay downtown, you can go places, you could do your thing, but it's tough to live in New York City one way or the other just to get around and things like that. I mean, where do you live there?
Yeah, I'm not in the private driver stage, so
Not yet.
Either is Cam.
Never mind. Thanks, Andy.
He's not in the private. So, but you are in some stage, man. I mean, you're working for the league. Everyone knows what you do, what you're doing right now. Do you enjoy it? Like, how much hockey do you watch? And can you ever take a night off, George, during the course of the season? Can you ever just say, you know what? I'm going to put the iPad down? Because I used to watch Pronger up close and personal, watching him try to like keep track of everything that's going on. Like, are you carrying the iPad into dinner when you're on a date with your wife? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, 1,000%. I watch more hockey than any human probably should. I can't watch every game that's going on. Obviously, we'll have anywhere from 1 to 15 games going on in a day, and sometimes 10 or 12 at a time. So I can't watch every game that's going on. But at the same time, anytime there's NHL games being played, I'm on my phone monitoring clips that come in, and I don't go to bed till the last minute's played of every game, and have a wrap on what I want to do for either that night's actions or for the next day.
Don't you just love it when you see the schedule come out and all of a sudden there's one game on the docket for that night? You're like, okay, honey, hey, put on your nice dress.
We're going to Sears.
We're going out tonight. One game.
Yeah, the worst of those when you have 1 or 2 games and then all of a sudden hell breaks loose, and then I'm busy anyway, so it comes and goes. There's no way to predict it.
Yeah. So say you're out, one game on, and you're chilling. You got the kid stuff. The kids are doing things. If somebody elbows somebody or something happens, all of a sudden you look at your phone and you got 50 text messages or whatever, and you're like, okay, get away from me. I got to break this down. I got to make a call. Like, explain that whole scenario.
Well, if there's only one game on, I'm watching it, that's for sure. But yeah, when there's a lot going on and whatever it is that I'm doing, I always know something's truly up if I start getting dinged on my personal phone, and I know there's something going on that I need to really dial into. But at any point in the night, I get emails. If I'm not in the room monitoring in person in our little situation room there in New York, if I'm not there, then I'm on my phone or TV watching games, or I'm just monitoring clips that come in. We send out clips for review all night long, and sometimes the clips are just notable plays, guys getting hurt, something that we should be paying attention to. Sometimes they're really good clips, like good hits or something we're kind of tracking. But we'll get a whole stream of emails in all night long. It's up to me to figure out what I want to do. Do I want to get my group's advice on a certain play and get their opinion and dig into something further? In which case, I'll wait to hear back from all them, and they'll send me their opinions independently of one another, so no one taints their opinion, and I'll figure out ultimately what I want to do, if I want to have a hearing or how I want to.
Yeah, well, after this, we expect you to ask us for our opinion.
We want to
chime in with our opinion on Georgie too. But can you paint the picture inside the Situation Room? Like, what is going on inside the Situation Room, and how long does it take you to watch a clip, George, to know, okay, this crossed the line or it didn't?
Yeah, no, it's good questions. Like, first of all, the Situation Room, it's a lot like in Toronto. We're a little bit smaller, the one we have in New York, but we've got 9 game watchers. We've got monitors. Each guy has a home and away feed. We've got a couple managers in the room, myself in the room, and we have games going on all over the place. And it's a little bit ADD central, because if you're not used to it, you're in there and you got 15 different screens going, and there's people talking back and forth, and all sorts of conversations being had between managers possibly, and talking about a clip or find out what's going on in a certain shift in the game or whatever the case might be. So there's a lot happening in there, and it can be overwhelming at times. And if you're not used to it, and there's times where I'm still not used to it, but it's a lot, and but it's a living, breathing beast in there, and we get a great team of guys that work well together, and we get the job done. But it's certainly interesting for sure.
Well, we're gonna get into your hockey career and everything before, but I do got a couple more questions. You're a very, very intelligent man. Very handsome guy too. Great mustache, great hair.
Do you still have a mustache?
Let me pump his tires up.
The mustache?
Not anymore, because he doesn't have long hair either. Because we all know. But when you were young, you get the job and you walk into your first meeting. I mean, how is it intimidating? You're with guys that have been in the game for so long. You've been in the game a long time. You're a Stanley Cup winner, of course, Princeton, all that stuff. But what was the feeling like trying to walk in, establish yourself in front of a lot of people that have been around the game?
Lifetime executives,
yeah, no
man.
shit, Georgie. Explain that.
Well, I mean, it depends on what room you're talking about. I guess it sounds like maybe you're describing a general manager's meeting or a board of governors meeting or something like that. Like
Anything.
That's, one of the things we do, obviously, and that I do is, we make decisions on plays that happen in the game. They're hotly contested. Depending on who you ask, you're never really making the right decision. So you're always kind of defending yourself or defending a decision or whatever, and that can certainly be intimidating. But to walk in and take over the department we've got guys that monitor games, and we've got former players in the department, and I kind of treat it like a team. You're running a team. We've got different viewpoints from different guys with different backgrounds, and you have a little bit of everything, and it's a really easy group to work with and to get along with and share your opinions and talk through some things or whatever, and manage and control and everything else. But yeah, to go into like a meeting, a GM meeting or a board of governors meeting or something like that, and present on the actions of your department and certain things. I mean, it's always gets the blood flowing a little bit, and the intimidation, certainly was there early on. It's something I've gotten a lot more comfortable with, but it's an acquired skill, I suppose. But when you know your business and you're confident in your opinion and what you've done, then it's really not too difficult.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now back to the interview. All right, so let me ask you this, because you mentioned your personal cell phone will go off, okay?
Yeah.
After a situation happens. Will players or general managers, will they try to get out in front of like a hearing or anything like that? Will they text you and be like, Georgie, he turned his back at the last second. I didn't see him coming. It was, incidental contact. My hands were down. Will they try to get to you before the actual process begins? Does that happen?
I've got a lot of friends in hockey, and I don't try to reach out to any of the guys during the season. They're making a living and trying to do what they do, so I don't really reach out, and nor do they really reach out either. Off season, you get back in touch with guys, et cetera. And if I'm at a game, physically at a game or see guys along the way, then it's business as normal. But so that doesn't really happen on that level. GMs, one thing I tried to do when I took over the department was have really good communication, open lines, make sure that they always got at least an explanation from me whether I like it or not. So I'm usually in constant contact with that group of guys throughout the year. So if something happens, there might be certain incidences where they're trying to get out of it or whatever, get ahead of a certain play or not. But I'm always reaching out as well, just to let them know, hey, I saw this. Here's how I feel about it initially. I'm not quite sure where I'm going, blah, blah, blah. But, we try to keep lobbying to an absolute minimum. I can recognize it when it's happening, and I assure you that never really factors in any decision I've ever made. And so we're at a point now, I think, where operationally, I think they're comfortable with how I've operated, and I try to, get ahead of any of that sort of behavior.
All right, let me ask you this.
Good for you.
And I'm going to give you an honest question, and you've heard this from players, you hear this from fans, executives all the time, and I want to get your answer on it, and I'm really curious. So people complain about the lack of consistency. They say there's no consistency with suspensions. You may have Chara, cross-check Brendan Gallagher in the face. Yeah. He may not get suspended. Another guy may do the same thing, may get suspended. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that you guys always rule inconsistently, but what's your response to that? Because I'm sure you hear that criticism sometimes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just a big knock on the department, and always has been and always will be, quite honestly, because you've got any number of opinions, and especially with social media now, everyone's got a voice that carries sometimes the same weight because it's out there and into the ether. But, you've got people who feel strongly about each incident, one side or the other. And, like I said, whatever decision we make, there's going to be people who disagree with it. And when you talk about consistency, we take every clip, every play, every incident that comes to us, and we look at it through the same focus, through the same lens. We say, this is, we go through a process. This is, we're going to examine this. We take into account all sorts of different aspects of the game. We try to watch every angle. We break it down, real speed, slow motion, what happened. We've got players that have played the game for a long time, a lot of experience. We've got guys that have been doing this job for a long time, and we try to make the best decision that we can. We try to remain consistent. Now, there might be a certain particular play that is different in a minor way compared to another one where we might have acted on and another one where we didn't. And for us, that minor difference might be material enough to where it doesn't rise it to the level of disciplinary action. And for us, that makes a difference. But for somebody else on the outside looking in, hey, these look awful similar. What are you guys doing over there? So it's kind of inherent in the job, and I understand when it does happen. But to do this job and make everybody happy with every incident, it's just never going to happen. A lot of times, people get and you can't expect them to kind of get into it the way that we get into it. But a lot of the inconsistencies that come through are when somebody does something like an illegal check to the head and he gets 2 games, and then somebody else has a boarding or a cross check or some other different type of incident, and we might look at one incident and the history of that player and things will start to weigh in differently. And you'll say, well, how come he only got 2 games? This is way worse than the other guy who got 4 games. Well, maybe that guy had a history, or maybe the situation was different, or maybe the intention was much more clear. The force was this. There's a lot of different factors. So we try to keep every category. So if it's an illegal check to the head, we try to remain consistent within that category. And we weigh things consistently within that category, history, injury, stuff like that. But when you start to compare different instances with different players at different times, and then it starts to, you start to lose some of that consistency, I think, perceived anyway.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt, man. You have one of the toughest jobs, if not the toughest job in the league, because you're always getting scrutinized. But Cam and I want to voice one of those videos. We want to say, this is checking. This is a hit to the head. This is illegal. You cannot do that. You are suspended. You are a repeat offender. Shit. How do you create these videos? Who's writing those? Is somebody like in a lab? Are they in like a studio, and all of a sudden they're just voicing it over? Does it take 1 take? Does it take 20
I can help you if you want me to.
Like who's putting that thing together?
Well, after we have a hearing and listen to the player, and we determine, that's when our group really talks about it for the first time openly and freely, is after a hearing. We've listened to the player and the GM and the agent and everybody else. Then we figure out, okay, what are we actually going to do here? If we suspend somebody, then we'll put together a script and we talk about that play and we try to break it down. And here's why we're suspending. We'll talk about the specific incident and what happened on the ice and the specific rule that it's breaking, and we'll come up with our decision. The actual verbiage of the rule is usually written up by Patrick Burke in our department, and we'll pick through it. And little words matter. Little ways you phrase things matter sometimes. Mm-hmm. We pour over them quite a bit. Sometimes the scripts are easier to write and make a lot more sense, and sometimes we're trying to describe and explain to the public like a very nuanced thing, and it comes out probably sometimes not as good as we would hope or would like it to be, as concise as we can. But some we pour over and some we don't, quite honestly. But it's always a process.
Oh, it's a process. But let me get back to you growing up, man. I mean, you grew up in Jersey. I don't think you were born in Jersey, but you grew up in Jersey. Very smart guy, very, very intelligent in school and things like that. Why would you become a hockey player? Why aren't you on the moon right now, like discovering some, antibiotic or something? Like, why did you get into hockey?
Well, hockey's much more fun, and
I think moon's kind of fun too, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And B, I definitely get a good rap as far as education is concerned, but I'm no rocket surgeon.
Yeah, you are.
I did well in school. I went to a great college. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, I've always wanted to play hockey, and that's just kind of, I was fortunate enough to do it. People asked me how long I played. I said 9 more years than I thought. So.
You didn't think though? You didn't think you were going to make it? Like, were you not good when you were young? No.
No. I mean, I was good for New Jersey high school hockey, which back then was not on anybody's radar. Anybody who's any good kind of went to the prep schools, which are kind of seems to be not as competitive anymore. I think just the way scouting's gone and the way that hockey's gone has kind of gotten away from that. But if you were any good back in the day, you would go away to prep school and try to go into college from there. But that wasn't me. I was okay. I was always really good for high school hockey, but really not beyond that. So I was planning on playing after high school, and then Princeton saw me and found me, and it's actually funny. I had to go to a summer camp in Montreal with a teammate from high school. His grandmother lived in Montreal, went and played some summer camp, and the goalie from Princeton was a counselor there. He was the current goalie, and said, "You guys should go check this guy out." And they're like, he lives in Jersey, he's an hour away from you. So that's how I got found by Princeton, because they didn't even see me play in high school. So
well, they just look at you and you walk in with that long ass fucking hair,
Yeah.
and you're like jacked as shit, and you're like, whoa, 57 times 9 is this?
Right.
Were they like, oh, I'm gonna fucking? Like, how did that go down? Like, how can he look at you and be like, I want you on my fucking team?
Take this quiz.
Well, that's what was it. I was in a summer camp, and he thought I played well, and he's like, this kid's starting to look at colleges, and I think our coaches should take a look at him. He's a really good scout of talent. This guy, Erasmus Altarelli.
Wow,
oh, I know
somebody hire him. Hey, would you have gotten into Princeton without hockey?
Likely not. Although I think at the Ivy League schools that they have obviously a lot more restrictions as far as recruiting and things like that concerned. They have to adhere to something called an academic index. So if you bring in somebody who's incredible at hockey but maybe not in the classroom, then you have to bring in somebody else who's really good in the classroom and not so much in hockey. Is kind of the rough way to describe it. So I think I was kind of that middle of the road guy where if I got to a certain, they're like, if you can get to this SAT level, then it's not going to be too difficult for us to get you in, and you can kind of get in. I wouldn't say on my own merits, but close to it. So I think hockey's absolutely helped. But if I had just applied as a student, I think it'd probably be a much longer stretch.
Yeah, I was the opposite. They wanted me, and then I played hockey, and they're like, no, we don't want you anymore because you're a psycho.
You're not smart enough, and you're not good enough at hockey.
No, or handsome, or with long hair with a mustache. What was your SAT score? Can you
ACT?
Is it SAT or ACT?
Well, either one.
As you know, I didn't take it.
ACTs,
it's more ACT.
Is it ACT?
What was it?
What was it?
I was SATs, and I was 1250. So
that's pretty good.
Is that good?
It was okay.
It was okay.
Good. It's not 1600 was the max, and I certainly wasn't near there. So
I mean, there's probably how many kids walking
around? 400 away, Georgie.
How many kids walking around Princeton with 1600 on the back of their jersey?
Yeah.
Just
do you know, Georgie, do you know the guys that you went to school with that had the 1600s, and you could talk to them and you're like, oh, fuck, you're a 1600 guy?
Yeah.
Is that how you rank them?
Stay away from them. They're
he's too smart for me. How does that work?
That guy's 1580.
Like, how do you deal with that? Like, do you know the smart guys? Are they that smart that you could just, know right off the bat?
Honestly, there's a pretty vibrant campus there. Lots of different backgrounds, diversities, and everything else like that. So, but there was also a ton of athletes. I'd say probably half the population was athletes. So a lot of just good, smart kids that could play, and the ones that were there, splitting atoms and stuff. They're usually pretty buried in libraries and stuff. You didn't see them a whole lot anyway. So I guess you kind of got a feel for that, but at the same time, so there's lots of people that were, just like yourself there,
Anybody you went to school with that's famous now, did Dr. Fauci go to school with you?
Who? Dr. Fauci's 80 years old.
I know that. I'm using that as an example. But anybody who's famous now that went to school with you while you were there, that's doing things.
Interesting.
Dr. Fauci.
I think
80 years
there's
old.
There's some kids there from really really big bloodlines, family lines, some of the bigger families in the nation, that have that heritage.
Kennedys,
Obama's wife, Michelle Obama,
Rockefellers and stuff like that.
Never heard of them.
There's a kid, Pete Hegseth, who's a buddy of mine at school. He's on TV a lot now. He's a military guy and political.
Fox News.
Yeah, exactly. So
wow,
he
Cam knows that.
Went to school together,
Cam's ACT score just went up
motherfucker.
His
don't
SAT,
chirp me.
He's now up to 960, I think.
Georgie.
His SAT.
Okay, so you go to college, you do your thing, you're a captain your last year, you're pimping it out, you probably got long hair and a mustache. We all get that, and you're jacked. But then you got to go into the American League and fight guys like myself when you're at Manchester.
Yeah.
So were you like, oh fuck, I've never fought in my life. I'm not a natural killer. I did this my whole life. Now I got to fight guys. How'd you transition to that aspect?
Right. So, I never fought growing up, nor did I want to. Although I like to hit a lot. I watched all the Rock'em Sock'ems. That was my style of play. But I didn't know. And the first thing about fighting, and I got drafted by the Kings after year junior hockey, and when I went out to their development camps in the summer. I knew right away kind of that if I was going to be this big guy that liked to hit, that someone's going to be asking me to fight pretty quickly. So I might as well figure it out here before I try and maybe play pro and I'm fighting somebody in a game that's, fought his whole life. So I would have 1 or 2 fights every summer out in those development camps. And I was pretty good at it from the start a little bit, and kind of cut my teeth there in more of a training ground situation. And by the time I finished school, then they kind of had a feel for me, the Kings did, and kind of knew what I could bring. And so when I graduated, there was an opportunity to go and play in Manchester, and did that, and knew that if I fought and played hockey the way I could, that maybe I'd get to the team quicker. And took me 2 years of minors, 2 rough years fighting guys like you, like I said. But and I was a terrible fighter back then too. You're cutting your teeth for 2 years trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
but
man.
Back then we had 35 fights a year, so there was no shortage of practice. So you get better and better. And
you didn't even do it in juniors either, man. Like, you just fucking went from 0 to 100. And that's so goddamn. And people, and I know you're big and shit, so you're strong and you could like hold guys out and shit, but like your balance and God, there's so much to it, and I don't think people really understand how hard that is.
Didn't you take boxing lessons though? Like,
after a while,
like talk about that.
Yeah, well, like Cam could probably tell you too. Like, I always took like a week or two, probably 2 weeks of boxing at the end of every summer, right before training camp. And the only reason really that Cam would know, like, boxing doesn't really translate to the ice, and the MMA doesn't. Nothing translates to the ice because you're on skates, right? So the biggest thing I found beneficial in boxing, outside of just it being a good workout, was your reaction to getting a punch thrown at you. If you react, a couple inches to the right when a punch gets thrown at you, as opposed to like really taking a 1 foot dive to the side, that could be all the difference in losing your balance on the skates. So I did it just to kind of get warmed up a little bit for camp, but I was always just focused on strength training and skating all summer.
All right, so what clicked in for you when you got to Anaheim? Like, did you just all of a sudden feel more comfortable? Like, what led to you all of a sudden becoming a household name and being part of a Stanley Cup winner?
Well, I think I can't lie. The mustache turned out to be the greatest marketing tool of all time.
Oh my God!
That certainly helped me with the becoming a fan favorite in Anaheim. We had a big team, as you know, big tough team. Guys like to fight, and there's many guys on the team that do the same thing. So being that type of player in that market that enjoyed it, and then having the mustache as well, and a lot of success on the ice, we were winning games. It kind of snowballed from there. But I had a whole year in my first year in LA where no mustache, just long hair, and fought and did my thing. But we were a much worse team.
Yeah, but you still stuck out like a sore thumb, homeboy. Like, you look like Captain Morgan no matter what. So like, whether you have a mustache or not, people are looking at you, dude. But you're in Anaheim, man. Like,
fair enough.
You found your groove. Like, you did your shit. Like, you got Berkey at the helm. Yep. Like, God, that team was so fucking good. You got Niedermeyer, you got Prongs, you got shit kickers, you got guys. I mean, like, explain that whole scenario where you're like, I just have to fit in. I have to find a way. I have to find a way to stay in the goddamn lineup so I can be a part of this unbelievable team. Explain that team to us.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head in a lot of different ways, and Berkey will tell you too. He says it a lot. Like, we had a team that could beat you any way you wanted. Like, if you wanted to play a skill game, we had all the skill in the world. We had Tamo and Scotty and Prongs and Getsy and Pears and every Penner and everybody like that. If you wanted to play tough, we had all the size in the world. Our skill guys were tall and big, and we had plenty of guys like me, Travis Moen, Sheldon Brookbank, guys that would fight too. So we could play the game a lot of different ways, and it was always a fight to stay in the lineup. And I knew it was expected of me just to play a physical role, and I knew I was never, back then, we weren't getting a lot of minutes, 5-6 minutes a night usually. So you have to make do with what you can, and make yourself relevant. And so it was a team that liked that side of the game, and so I fit in well, and the coaches, the GMs, the players, they liked having me around, and it worked out pretty well.
Did you ever grow into like where you began to enjoy fighting, where you liked it and you looked forward to it, and like you just loved the role, you started to really embrace it? Like, did it ever change like that for you?
I think in the minors, I thought it was pretty novel, right? Like, I was a guy from Princeton. I never fought before, and now I had, I played in Manchester, and back then Manchester had sellouts all the time. It was a really great place to play and watch a game, and they liked that style too. So it became something that was like a whole lot of fun for me, really, to have that impact on a game and have everyone screaming and doing that role. And so back then, fighting I enjoyed. I knew that it was going to be something, A, that I needed to work on, but B, that I was getting a lot of positive feedback on. And so it was fun back then. And even for most of my career, I would say that, once you do have kids, you start to say, well, you know what, maybe this isn't the best thing, and maybe this isn't so much fun anymore. And, but by then, you've kind of established yourself, and maybe you don't have to do it all the time. But I never lost sleep. I wasn't one of the guys that that fretted too much. Especially we grew up in the age where you could get online and watch the guys on hockeyplace.com and do a little bit of research and have a little bit of an idea who you're up against. So it wasn't as nerve-wracking, and I wouldn't say I wasn't looking not to fight or anything like that, but I think I probably enjoyed it more early on, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you're 6'4" and you're jacked too, so you could string a cat out, like, unless you're going boogie. Like,
well, that's
come on.
How I fought. I was, like I said, I was not a great fighter, so I had to use my length to. I fought more defensive than most guys, and I knew that if I'm going to fight that entertaining style like John Morasti or something, I'm going to last for a minute in this league and be knocked out and mush. So it's definitely I was the guy that felt like I had to have fireworks with every fight. I wanted to make sure that I was doing my job, but also protect myself and make sure that I could continue to do my job.
Yeah, no, I get it, man, and I know Nasty and all those guys, dude. They're all I follow. We all shoot the shit on Facebook and all. They all follow the podcast and all that stuff, man. We love them to death. We're gonna all get them on too. But you speaking of the mustache, like, you're in Anaheim, you're blowing up. Every time you skate on the ice, everybody knows who you are. You stick out like a goddamn sore thumb. I told you that before. You know that. You got the mustache, you got the hair. You look the part. So when did you start monetizing the stash? Like, you're a smart guy. You're playing hockey. You're making great money. Were you looking at it like, oh, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm playing hockey. I'm going to get the puck off the wall. I'm going to do all my shit. I'm going to fight. But now I looked the part. I'm going to monetize this goddamn mustache. I'm going to take some to charity. I'm going to do this. Like, when did that all start to develop?
A few years into Anaheim, there's a lot of merchandise running around, like those kind of bootlegged and stuff. And the only time I wouldn't even call it monetized it, but I started a company called Stash Gear, where I had a buddy, Marvin Springer, who would help me just making the shirts or whatever. We did a little line called Stash Gear and sold it in the arena. And gave the money to charity. So we did that. But I mean, as far as monetizing, no. The only thing that it
was the wrong word.
Do was just stay relevant and keep getting me contracts based on my play and performance and popularity. So exactly. I guess that all feeds into it. But yeah.
Hey, let's talk about the new Bud Light Seltzer.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy-drinking, hard seltzer that comes in 4 delicious fruit flavors. Black cherry, strawberry, lemon lime, and Cam's favorite, mango.
Oh,
With
mango.
only 100 calories, 5% alcohol, and less than a gram of sugar, you might as well have a few tonight or this weekend. Go to BudLight.com to buy Bud Light Seltzer online. Must be 21 years of age or older. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Yeah.
Now, back to the interview.
I get that. Yeah, monetize. I didn't mean it like that. Like, monetize it for charity. For charity. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
I'm smart, Andy. I went to Princeton.
Everything goes. But, like, when you have the mustache, I mean, it's almost like, when you're Joe Thornton, he's got the beard, Brent Burns has the beard.
It's you.
I mean, do you ever wake up and be like, I don't really want the mustache anymore, but I kind of have to have the mustache? Like, do you feel like you were more valuable to society when you had a mustache versus if you didn't have it, Georgie?
It definitely took on a life of its own. I definitely felt there's at some point it became odd to not have one, for sure. In fact, like Sheldon Brookbank used to joke around, like, every November I'd do Movember, and shave my mustache. And he'd always joke around that I would get the most fights in the month of November because I didn't look as tough. So everyone was trying to get a piece of me at that point.
Well, you caught a couple guys too. You ripped my shoulder out one time, and it was like the most miserable experience of my life in Anaheim. I remember digging. I saw the highlight because we're gonna put some highlights of you tonight. But you ripped my shoulder out. You're bagging guys up, but you also got caught a couple times too, Georgie, man. Especially at the end of your career. I know Orzi, God, was he tougher than fuck. You're telling me that you didn't worry about him when you're going toe-to-toe with Orzi. I don't know where you're at. Good. Thank God that you didn't do that because you got a lot more sleep. But how was that? You get caught by him. You hit your fucking face on the ice. Like, explain that whole concussion scenario, man. I don't mean to bring up hardcore shit, but it is what it is.
No. I look back and I say that, to myself and others, like, that could have happened at any point in my career. So I consider myself lucky, like something fluke like that. or any time you take a shot, like any punch you take. I mean, it could have happened at the beginning of my career. It happened towards the end. So I think in that respect, I'm at peace with it for sure. Orzi, I used to hate that guy because he was a nasty fighter, as you know. He's tougher than nails, and he used to jump me all the time in the minors. I'm like, why is this
really? It's not too late. Wait, it's not too late to suspend him.
No, time out.
It's not too late to suspend him now.
We love Orzi
Georgie.
too, by the way. Orzi's part of the group. We love him. He's working in New York too, so you guys are kind of. But he'd jump you in the minors, though. What do you mean by that?
He'd always get the jump on me in the minors, and I'm like, why is this guy jumping me? Like, he's a way better fighter. He doesn't need to or whatever. But and then that incident happened, and like I said, that was definitely not the way you want to start out your career in a new market. That was my first game with the Habs, and had a good fight against them early in the game, and then that happened. That was a tough year for sure.
That was the second fight, though, Georgie. That was the second fight of the game.
Yeah.
Why'd you go in the second time then?
Well, PK Subban got in his face and was starting to cause some trouble, so I stepped in and got in another fight. And I went for a big swing and I was off my balance, and he was falling down, and he pulled me down, and I like accelerated down to the ice.
Fucking PK
with a lot more steam.
PK. We're gonna blame it on him. Suspend his ass next year, Georgie.
Suspend him too.
Get his fucking ass.
You know how it goes. You want guys to be able to feel like they can go do stuff like that when you're out there. So.
I get it. He's a good dude. He's great for hockey. Yep. We all know that.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a hearing. Let's have
a hearing. No, so suspend
automatic 5 games.
I didn't want to. If I didn't have to fight Colton, I wasn't looking to.
No shit. No. Fucking down the pipe, right hand.
How did you become the director of player safety? Like, somebody call you and be like, George, we think you would be good at this.
You're a beautiful human being.
Were you like, okay, maybe I'll look into it? Like, did you negotiate a contract? Like, how'd it come about?
It always intrigued me for sure. We didn't have the department for the first number of years. We were in the league, but it was something that I found interesting for sure, especially given what I did and how I played. But when the end was near and my career was over, I'd been put in touch with Stefan Quintel, who was running the department at the time, and I was hounding him down, just like I was hounding down a lot of other teams just to stay in the game of hockey and everything like that. But I never let Q off the hook. Always stayed after him, wondering if he was going to hire anybody soon, because I know he had an opening. Took 2 years, but I finally decided to hire somebody, and he chose me. So, I was obviously very grateful for that. He's been an unbelievable guy to work for and work with. He still works with us now, and a great resource. He played the game for a long time too, same for him. 18 years I think he played. So
Former Blues, baby. Stefan Quintel. He got his ass kicked a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. He got his ass. When I'm young, I watched some like Twisters banging guys up. Stefan Quintel got caught a couple of times. Anyway,
well, he was fighting. He had to fight, Grimson and those guys. So
that's Chaser. Chaser didn't fight him. Then we're gonna blame that on Kelly Chase then, because he was on that team. There you go.
That's funny. So we've seen guys like Brendan Shanahan. I mean, even Chris Pronger to an extent. I mean, he went and worked for a team. I mean, your job has been a launching spot for you to get experience and then move on. Like, do you have interest in doing that? Like, would you like to run a team one day? Like, what's the long-term future you'd like to maybe turn this experience into something else here, Georgie?
Yeah, I think I've always entertained the thought of running a team one day. I think that's super interesting and compelling, and something I've wanted to do. I love the job I'm in now, and it's been beyond interesting, beyond intense. All the things that you kind of that keep you invested in the game, and it's been great for that. So I'm going to keep doing this job as best I can, and if something comes my way, then I'll certainly give it consideration. It's something I've always thought of, but who really knows.
Time to talk about our boy Dan Bellman. Bellman.com. That's with 2 N's, not one. BEHLMANN.com. Hey, check out the new inventory. Check out the pre-owned vehicles. You looking for a Chrysler, a Dodge, a Jeep, a Ram? How about a Cadillac or a Buick GMC? All in Troy, Missouri. Get your new wheels in time for the winter. Now back to the interview.
So when you retire, and you're talking to the NHL and all that stuff, but did anybody else like want to hire you, like fucking Elon Musk or something, or NASA or something? Like, were you like, well, maybe I'll go to this fucking thing. Maybe I'll own this oil refinery in Texas and make fucking 2 schmel. Like, did anybody else hire you? Want to throw you a job offer?
This is where people give me too much credit for being that intelligent. I'm really not. And I certainly could have jumped into some sort of financial job, I think, but not really what I was looking to do. I wanted to stay in hockey from the get go.
Are you a numbers guy, or what kind of smart are you though? Like, are you? Can I throw you a number right now in like 57 times 8?
No.
Can you tell me? Okay.
No,
okay.
Can't do that.
That's why I asked. That's why I'm curious.
We were going to give you the Cam and Strick quiz.
I was going to give you a fucking multiplication quiz, which I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you can throw it right back at him, George.
8 times 8, 32. Anyway.
That's an instrument that hasn't been tuned in a while.
No.
You got a phone, man. You're good.
Set the scene for us. What's it like at NHL headquarters?
Yeah.
Like you're in the office. Like, are you running into Gary Bettman at the vending machine when he's buying pretzels? Like what's going on there when you're in the office there, George?
It's a great office. We're actually in the midst of switching offices, but it's a good scene. There's lots of great people who work at the NHL. There's people come from teams to work there and leave, and a lot of in and out, but great folks that I work with there. I have an office down from our situation room. Bill and Gary on a different floor, but pop in to see them and chat if I need to or whatever. But it's not unlike any other office I would imagine, other than the fact that we're in there mostly at night when everyone's gone home. So I do spend a lot of time in there during the day and try and get through some stuff. But it's a great place to work. Does
Gary leave you alone when you're making a decision, like when there's a big incident and you have to rule on it? Like, do you run it by him first before it's announced publicly? Like how does that go down?
Yeah, no, not at all. He's actually, if someone were to appeal any decision I have, then it goes to him. So he's not even allowed to be privy to anything I'm doing. If something major happens where an owner might, be calling him about something or whatever, I'll give him a debriefing on the situation. Hey, this incident happened, and here's the clip, just so you know, just a heads up. But they leave me to my own decisions, which I think I wouldn't have it any other way if they were.
No shit.
If they were trying to, influence me or whatever, then I don't think that's what anybody wants out of the job. We have a lot of guys in this department, like I said, with a lot of experience, and that's, I think, great. Like, they have our back and will support what we're doing until they don't have our back. So until they don't feel we can do the job, and I don't really want the job if the players don't think I can do the job, and if the GMs don't think I'm doing the job well, then you don't really want it anyway. So.
Yeah. Excuse me, Georgie. No, I'm going to take care of this one. Well, what am I doing then? No, I completely understand that. And trust me, the guys have your back one way or the other. I do got a question, though. Shit goes down, kind of panic mode, which you probably don't get into because I could tell that you're just like the most mild-mannered guy in the world, that you're just – but it's one of those instances where you're like, I need to call somebody and get fucking advice. Who are you calling? Is it Brian Burke? Is it Lou Lamoriello? Who would you call right off the bat with a big decision?
Oh, I keep – anytime I reach out for advice, it's within our own group. So okay. I'll call Ray Whitney and Stepan Cantel and our managers in the room, Damien Echeverrieta and Patrick Burke. We're our own unit, and quite honestly, if you're if you don't live and breathe this stuff, and you don't have the knowledge of every incident's been similar to that in recent history, or what the actions have been, or whatever else, and you're obviously, there's plenty of people in this world that are qualified to have their opinions, and Hall of Famers and everything else, but at the same time, if we're talking about a decision I'm trying to make, then it stays within our group, and we figure out what we need to do, what we feel is best. So afterwards, after something happens, certainly you can, talk it through with somebody, and people call and want a rationale and things like that, which I'm always happy to give. But if I'm talking about actually making a decision, we keep it in house. Now, if I need to talk to the referee that night to get a better perspective on something that happened on the ice level that I'm not aware of or can't capture from a video, then I'll do that. Just to get a different angle on something, but that's about it.
How much stuff goes on that doesn't get out? Like that, that may take place on the ice or whatever, that gets to the league level, referees call you, whatever, and the public never hears about it?
Well, I mean, there's so much stuff that happens every night. Like I said, we'll have, sometimes 15 games going on, and that's 15 markets with two teams playing with rabid fans, and there's something going on every night. How much stuff, and we look at thousands of clips a year, and sometimes they're good clips. Sometimes it's like, well, here's a big hit that was clean. Here's a play where a guy got hurt. Here's something that I tell the guys, let's start tracking this. I wonder if it's a bigger deal than we think. Whatever the case might be, we'll start sending out those clips, like I said. So we review a whole bunch of stuff, and this past year we only had 18 suspensions, so it's pretty amazing actually the way the game's gone. And the stuff we act on is, we try to take care of the worst of it and guide the game the best way we can. But there's tons of stuff that we watch and take note of and helps formulate our decisions on things. But at the same time, we don't act on a lot of it.
All right. When does it get to the point, George, where you have to go and attend a game in person? Because I know you did that with the Zach Cassie and Matthew Tkachuk situation, and then you go to the game and you're holding a press conference before the game. God. Do you feel like your presence alone will calm things down on the ice? Like, when does it get to the point where you have to go?
Yeah, I always say, like, I don't ever want to be a part of the storyline of any game. It's best when I'm not involved or the topic of conversation. We want to be in the background and doing our job and doing a good job where no one really needs us around or thinks about us or speaks about us. But there's certainly times where we're going to be forefront on some games or what's happened, what's going on. So a game like that, the casting game, for sure. A lot of attention brought to it, a lot of things said in the media that probably shouldn't have been said. There's a lot of pub and hype around games. So a situation like that, I think it can help for sure to go just be seen around there, make sure guys, keep your heads cool no matter what you said or whatever. Like, we're still playing a game here, and whatever it is that you do on the ice is going to be judged the same way as if there's no hype around it. But we're here, and it's important just to kind of keep a little bit of control over that, I think. So you go and have as many conversations as you can and be that presence. And it's not required hardly at all, but sometimes it is. I remember my first year in the department, Stefan was the boss, and we had an incident with it was a Kadri on
cross check.
No, it wasn't. No. It was a Sedin twin got hit from the blind side, and there's a big to do. Good Branson was there, and there's a lot of chatter back and forth, and it was a big blindsided hit on Sedin, and a lot of pressure and pub around it. And so we went and did the whole thing again. Talked to the media. Made sure we were in the rink and trying to calm things down. There's nothing that I can do that's going to keep anybody from doing anything on the ice. We're not on the ice, but obviously our actions and sometimes our presence can help.
Andy Strickland and Cam Jansen here for you for GadgetBuyback.com. Yeah. Gadget Lab, they got a store here locally if you're in St. Louis, 5541 Telegraph Road. Here's the deal. You got an old phone, maybe a cracked tablet. Maybe it's perfect, but it's a little bit older. Turn it in right now. www.GadgetBuyback.com. Upgrade your devices, phones, computers, watches.
Anything.
Doesn't have to be Apple either. No. Get those tablets turned in. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com, 877-772-8880. Now back to the interview.
Yeah. So, okay, especially in Toronto, too, it's just everything's amplified. I kind of fucked that one up because I thought it was a Kadri cross-check where you got suspended. Anyway, it was before that. But my question to you is, you guys ever watch a game, and now it doesn't happen that much, but it becomes a shit show. But it's a clean shit show, Georgie. It's a clean shit show. And you guys, at the end, everybody's kind of going crazy, but you guys all look at each other and you're like, I like that. No, everything's fine. They fought, they hit, they stuck up for each other, no suspensions. Like, do you guys ever look at a game that was so hardcore and you sit in your room and you look at each other like, no, that's hockey. Does that happen?
Yeah, it happens a lot. I tell guys at the rookie orientation, I tell guys when I see them or having meetings, I did a fall tour and went and spoke with every team, every player, gave them an opportunity to ask questions, and I wanted to make sure I made myself available to them. And what we tell them is, we like good, hard, clean hockey. We like big hits if they're delivered cleanly. Like, we have no problem with that. Now, it doesn't make my life fun. Watching the game sometimes, peeking out of the corner of my eye because things are getting rough, but that is good hockey, and unless you do something that's illegal and over the line, then we're gonna not dip into the game. It's funny is during the casting thing, I went up to the first game, and then which was in Edmonton, I think, and then there was a couple days in between our next game in Calgary, so I went and watched a game in Winnipeg. It was Winnipeg to St. Louis. I think it might have been St. Louis, but maybe it was Boston. I think it was Boston, Winnipeg, and it was the nastiest game of the whole season. Like, it was just I was there. I didn't make a big media presence. I was just killing time in between games and making use of a trip on the road. So I went and caught that game, and it was one of the nastiest games all season long. Like, lots of hits, lots of fights, lots of aggression, whatever else. But at the end of the day, there was nothing actionable for us. So, I mean, it was fun for the fans, but maybe not fun for me. But
no, it's healthy though. It's health. That's healthy. If they could do it the right way, Georgie. If they could do it the right way, don't hit guys from behind, don't elbow.
Keep it clean, and we're good.
We're good, baby. Yeah. It's still physical. Andy. Yep. Andy has no idea about physicality because he didn't play. Go ahead, Andy. You got a question?
That's not true at all.
No, you were trying to be physical last night. We're not going to get into that. Go ahead.
A couple more questions, and then we're going to let you go. You mentioned only 18 suspensions. So what do you think, like, where the game is at right now? Like, what's been cut down the most? Like, where's the game really trended in a positive fashion where it's become a safer game, even though the game is faster and bigger than it probably ever has been?
Well, the personnel has changed too, and as we all know, like, there's less guys that did what we did out there now, but at the same time, there's still plenty of physicality, big hits, all the rest of it. And I think the game's in a good spot, quite honestly. The biggest difference I see is that the game is obviously so much faster, even when I stopped playing, even than 2 years ago. Like, it just gets faster every year. And what happens with all that speed is a lot more of the accidental collision, a lot more of the reactionary type of hit, a lot more of the things where we don't see the intent that we used to back in the day. We have just a lot more, guys are whipping around at high speeds, and it's hard to control certain hits if something changes at the last second, and those are tough decisions for us to make, and that's why we have players in our department who used to play and have played. But that's the biggest thing for me, is just the speed of the game really changes the dynamic of some of the times the way that these hits are delivered and how they're delivered, and how guys can either try and minimize and avoid hits. And we ask a lot of the players, and they've done an absolutely fantastic job, because we see guys that are trying to be smarter about their hitting, trying to avoid some of those east to west hits where they're cutting across in front of the guy and catching the head. Yeah. We'll see guys pass up on those hits now, and some of those more hits that we've kind of been telling them are more dangerous, even around the boards, the boardings and things like that. Like, I really think that the guys have absorbed what the department has been trying to tell them is not going to be tolerated. And I think that, given the speed of this game and the skill, I think the guys do a really good job of trying to apply that to the game and trying to be safe. And there's a lot of respect in the game right now, I think. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely do. And we're gonna post a clip tonight of me hitting you behind the net, and I want to know if it's going to be suspension worthy or not. I'm posting that bad boy tonight. I want to know. You know what I'm talking about too. But I guess a two-part question real quick though. Is there one thing in the game that you look at and you're observing everything, you're watching everything down in Nashville, doing your thing with that long, beautiful hair of yours, and you're watching these games and you're like, this needs to change. There's this thing needs to change. What would that be?
What's the biggest thing that needs to change right now?
Yeah.
It's tough. Like, there's definitely, like I said, that most of the stuff is not that intentional now. So, like, there's just a lot of, like, gray area stuff that I think can be cleaned up more. But I really don't think there's a major, overarching problem in our game right now. If there was, I think we'd be talking about it right now. I don't see it out there. I think guys are trying to avoid the head as best they can. Sometimes it doesn't quite go their way. But I think the game's being played at a really good level right now, and there's nothing that jumps out to me. The one thing that I wanted to change, I had changed. I did the helmet off rule. That's me. You can blame me for that one, but
okay. But can I step in? Sorry to cut you off. Because sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. And you watch that, and some guys will be going toe to toe, and both helmets fly off. And they're are you talking about that
during play?
Are you talking about during play or fight?
You have to get off the ice or put it back on right away or get off the ice, right?
Okay, is that separate though? Because even now, you're
talking about buckets off before you fight.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in a fight and the bucket falls off, the linesmen come right away and break it up, and it pisses a lot of guys off. Now, is that what you're talking about, or when the helmet falls off during play? Because that happened when I was still playing in 2015.
Yeah, no, there's no rule for the helmet coming off during a fight that you have to stop the fight or anything like that. No, I I didn't change anything there.
Okay.
I pushed for the rule where a player has to either put his helmet back on or change.
Yeah,
when it comes off during play.
I get that.
Yeah,
for sure. You know, want your helmet
and
off.
it's kind of a product. It's kind of a product of how much hockey we watch, right? Like,
yeah,
you might watch the Blues and see it happen a couple times, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's not that big a deal." But when you're watching 1,200 games, and you're like, "Holy cow!" Like, I see a helmet come off, a couple times a night, and then also I'm watching games, and it's like, "Oh, this guy just got hit with a slap shot in the helmet," and that happens a couple times in games. Like, at some point, these two are going to collide, and why are we not? Why are we going to wait for something bad to happen?
Yeah,
so
that's why you went to Princeton.
Keep your fucking helmet on.
That's the Princeton covenant.
But that was implemented in the minors in 2015, my last year there.
In the AHL, yeah.
Exactly. I remember rocking guys, my fucking helmet fly off.
George probably did that too.
And then the guy would want to fight me. I'm like, I got to go to the bench, motherfucker.
Right.
So what you're saying, though, when there is a fight right now in the NHL and a helmet falls off, the linesmen aren't obligated to come in and break that up. You're saying that
there's no rule that says that they have to get in a fight. Now, if they have direction from Stephen Walkham to do so, or I think it's just kind of more of
a feel,
a known thing, a feel thing. Yeah, that like they'll I don't think linesmen are going to step into a fight where they're going to put themselves into danger. They never have. But I think the idea, and I could be speaking out of turn here, but I think the idea is if a helmet goes off and you can stop the fight, then they probably should do it. But there's no rule, saying they have to or anything. There's no rule in the rule book about helmet coming off during a fight or anything like that.
It's the only reason why, again, all the guys, the tough guys that follow it, the tough guy fans that follow our podcasts and our radio shows and stuff like that. I mean, they feed me so much shit, and I'm like, and they show me these clips of these refs, lineys, I should say, that jump in right when the helmet falls off, and people are like, that's the new rule, but it's not. So sometimes they do it, and sometimes they do it, and I think that's where the confusion is.
So correct them, Cam.
No, they don't have to come in.
Where do you stand on fighting in the game today? Like, where will fighting be, in your opinion, 5-10 years from now? Like, where are we headed? Is it going to maintain where we're at right now? How much of a decline are we seeing right now? Like, what's your take on it, George?
I think that, like I said, I think fighting is in a decent spot right now. Like a couple of years ago, I didn't like to see all the fights where there's a clean hit and then someone had to fight because there's a big hit and it was clean. Because it seemed like shortly after guys like us kind of left the game and there's no one around to do it, and then there's a big hit and everyone's like, well, something has to happen here, and there's a lot of forced fights after big hits. I wasn't thrilled with that. I don't see that much anymore. I think fights happen for the right reasons in games these days, and I think it's in a good spot that way. What happens in 5 or 10 years, I don't know. And I think that the NHL has always been evolving as much as they can with rules and whatever is should happen, and they stay pretty fluid with that. So I'm okay with the way it is right now. If something happens in the game that needs to be changed, I have no doubt that we'll change it for the right reasons.
Well, Georgie, they don't have to fight anyway. So if you make a big hit and somebody grabs you, they get a 2, 5, and fucking 10. So fuck you. So that's already implemented one way or the other. Like, if you make a big clean hit today and somebody challenges you and you turn them down, what are they going to do to you? Nothing. So you're not forcing it. You're already, so that's already there, man. So I don't know. I like the game. Like Braden, a couple guys on the Blues, like sometimes Braden Shin will fucking run somebody and be like, oh, you want to do it? Let's go. And it's emotional. A play in front of the net where you're getting cross-checked. It's an emotional fight. And that's still healthy, in my opinion.
Yep. No, I agree. Like I said, I think they happen for the right reasons these days. And I think that's good. So
you know what? And my last thing, like a guy like Tom Wilson, like who we've had on the podcast, like he's got a reputation to a lot of casual fans of being like a dirty guy. He's been suspended. He fights, but he's a hell of a hocky player. Like, I mean,
first round pick.
How do you balance a player like when you watch him play? I mean, do you evaluate the big picture in terms of how he impacts his team, how good of a hockey player he is, or do you purely look at his track record and how many times he's been suspended when he comes close to the edge?
Well, neither really. I look at every hit that he or anybody else makes in the league, and I determine whether or not it's worthy of hearing and supplemental discipline. And Tom Wilson, no matter what his history is, and this goes for anybody in the league, whether you're clean and whether you have never been suspended before in your life, if you do something that is deemed to be suspension worthy, you'll get suspended. If you have the worst record in the league, if you have been suspended 1,000 times, but you make a big hit that's clean, you're not going to get suspended. So Tom is often on that line, he's a big man. He skates really fast and he hits guys. So he's always going to be, a lot of his hits are going to be looked at. But at the end of the day, he's allowed to hit guys. And if he hits them clean, then there's no issue.
So what you're trying to say is he's got beautiful hair like you. He gets away with things. Okay, I get what you're saying. George.
He didn't get away with nothing. Nobody does.
Nobody does.
I'll give him a pass because I have bad hair.
Yeah, but thanks for doing this, man. We appreciate it very much, man. And honestly, you do a great job. You have a thankless job. It's not easy to do what you do. People try to act like they could do a better job sometimes. People have no idea what it's like for you to have your feet in the fire and to have to make a decision that impacts so many different people when your balls are truly on the line, man. And I got a lot of respect for what you do.
And the boys love you, dude. I talked to all of them.
It.
They like you, man. You're doing a great job, dude. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for doing this.
Grow that fucking hair out, and if you don't, I'm going to get pissed at you. See you, buddy. Do your thing, homie.
See you guys.
See you,
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Bye.
That was George Parros, the stash.
Big Jargy.
How much money do you think he made off the mustache? Actually, all to charity.
Yeah, went to charity.
I
go, did you monetize that? He's like, well, no, because I gave it to charity. I'm like, oh, is that what good
Probably
people
should
do?
have.
Is that what smart Princeton people do?
He is smart, man.
And he belittled himself a little bit, which I kind of like. But on the other hand, I think when you're that smart, when you belittle yourself, that means that you're I don't know.
Cam, let me just say this.
He's too smart.
I don't think it's a very fun job.
It's a terrible
I think
job.
it's a thankless job.
It's terrible.
I think it's a great job.
He could be a fucking astronaut.
Maybe.
Seriously.
Could be walking on the moon.
Could be walking on the fucking moon, like pissing on the moon, looking at us I own all you motherfuckers, and I'm gonna sit in my little shuttle and then cruise around because I'm so smart.
Just make
But
money.
now he's getting chirped by everybody, the helmet thing. I fucking asked him about the helmet thing. People are bugging the fuck out of me when there's a fight going on and the helmets fall off.
Yeah, but that's separate.
What do you mean that's separate?
Well, he's not. He doesn't run the referees.
No, but
that's Stephen Walcom.
No.
So his rule was during play if your helmet falls off. I understand what you're saying. People complain that the linesman jump
What's
in
the
early
goddamn difference
when the helmet falls off, but he has nothing to do with that.
Why wouldn't he have anything to do with a say on that?
Because
that's
he's not in charge of the linesmen or the referees.
But are you in charge of the rule book?
No.
So he's not in charge of the rule book.
He's in charge of discipline.
No. Okay, so he's not in cahoots. He's in
charge of player safety.
He's not in cahoots in the meetings with changing your helmet fall. Well, he just said his helmet. How is that different? His helmet fell off. If your helmet falls off, like I said, it happened to me in 2015, where I implemented it in the minors. And so now the helmet falls off in a fight. He has nothing to do with that?
Okay.
That was a dumb question?
No, that would be a player safety issue if you're saying that a player is in danger and more susceptible to injury.
Falling down like he did.
Falls off during a fight.
Like he did.
But he hit his face.
Doesn't matter. Well, fine, but he could hit the back of his head. So my point is, all these people like Cameron, why are they fucking breaking this fight up? I go, I think
my issue is
breaking up because the helmet fell off.
They break up fights when two players just square off and they're staring each other down, and they break it up before it even gets going.
No, it's ridiculous.
That's what's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous, and it's and then they'll jump in there when they're both going toe to toe, and the ref will get caught in the fucking jaw, and you're like, why are you jumping in there? They're going toe to toe, let them beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
But sometimes they jump in when the helmet falls off, and everybody's like, why do they do that, Cameron? I'm like,
but his rule when your helmet falls off during play, you either have to stop and put it on right away, or you got to get it off.
Dude, Craig McTavish scored a goal in 1996. Craig McTavish for the St. Louis Blues, 1996.
With no
last
lid.
Player to wear a full no lid to score a goddamn goal. Could you think about that? That's fucking insanity with that fro he had.
But it looks so weird.
He looks so goofy. He looks so slow.
You look better with a helmet on than you do
without a helmet. Why would you
helmet.
do that? Now, the visor thing, because you could see, but the helmet, what does that do? Slow you down?
I don't know.
What the fuck are you thinking?
Is that ego? I don't need a helmet.
And then he wins a goddamn Stanley Cup in '94. They traded for Craig McTavish, and everybody's fucking chirping McTavish. When McTavish is cruising around with no Bucky on, the people are probably like, you're slow, you look old, and you don't have a fucking bucket. You look like you're from the 70s, and then you win a cup in 94.
I know.
It is so weird, Craig. We need to get his ass on.
We got to get him on.
What the fuck
Just
were
to
you
talk
thinking?
About that.
What the fuck were you thinking?
It'll be like a 10-minute podcast. We just want to talk about your helmet.
No, I don't care about your career. Why the fuck did you not wear a helmet?
We don't want to talk about you running the...
Well, it's more comfortable with the aerodynamics of... You weren't skating fast,
no,
Craig.
But that's for George Parros to talk about aerodynamics. No one else can talk about that except him.
God damn.
Because he's so damn smart. What did he get on his SAT?
What did I ask him? 1250. Is that good?
I don't know. We got to find that out.
I said ACT. Is that
you
stupid
did.
to say that?
Well, it's the SAT. ACT would be like a
fuck is the
31,
difference?
32. He's probably in somewhere in that range, 29 to 32.
Remember I told him I did the same thing. He's like, you did? Like, fuck no.
But I wonder what you would get. I think you told me that.
I'd be below. You would look at me if I took that test right now. You would look at me like I need to help Cam in life. Like I need to help him go to the bathroom. I need to help him get changed. I need to help him do this. That's what you would do if I took my
like
ACT
senior
score.
care
Or SCT. What is it? Yeah, like a senior care. Like I'm like dementia or something, which is not funny.
No,
but
that's serious.
That's why I'm not going to do it in front of anybody.
Yeah,
because you're going to be like, oh, I feel sorry for Cam.
But I want to say this again. What I just said to George at the end of the interview.
Yeah.
A lot of people chirp, players chirp, and I get it. Like the inconsistency, that'll drive anybody crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you see one guy do something, he gets a penalty or gets a suspension. Another guy can do the exact same thing and not be suspended. I mean, it's that part I get. But he said, hey, there's a reason for it, whether it's past history, whatever. A lot of things come in and factor into it. I don't think they just sit around and decide, you know what? Let's give him a suspension.
You get 5. You get 6. You get 7.
He's a third liner, but we're not going to give him a suspension because he's a future Hall of Famer. I want to believe that never happens, that doesn't happen. I'm sure some guys get the benefit of the doubt who have played 15, 16, 17 years.
Here's what I want to ask
and they have a clean record.
Here's what I should have asked him. You're one of the smartest guys in sports. Ranked number 4, and I just read an article. He's ranked number 4 in sports.
He was number 3 or something.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Who was 2?
I don't know.
Who was 1?
I don't know. Andy, I don't know. But I wanted to ask Georgie, are you happy? Like, are you happy with your job? Like, you're in Nashville with your family. Your kids are growing. Listen to me.
We just had him on 5 minutes ago. Now you're asking the question?
I asked him everything else in the fucking book. Now I'm just like, are you? I don't know. Like, are you happy?
I think he is.
Like, is it worth it? I know you're making good money, but you could make good money doing probably $1 million things.
Yeah, but dude, here's the deal. He's
that
job. People need to understand that job. Gary Bettman obviously has a lot of influence. We all know that. He's the commissioner of the league. He will get you a job. He will hand select where you go. If you do a good enough job for him.
There it is. I see what you're saying.
Like Brendan Shanahan did.
Put your time in. Yep.
You put your time in, and guess what? I'm going to find you a team to run.
Yep.
I will find you a team.
Okay.
He basically placed Brendan Shanahan in Toronto.
I know. In the Mecca. Yeah, and that's Brendan Shanahan. This is George Parros, too. And
but
I know
still.
I know. I'm just saying.
But he went to Princeton, played a while, won a Stanley Cup, played almost 500 games.
Great hair.
Great hair, sick-ass mustache, had a brand. People knew who he was.
Won a Stanley Cup.
So it didn't matter if he played, 1,100 games or 450 games. People know who George Parros is.
I know.
And they also respect how intelligent he is. You get that experience at the league level that only enhances your chances. Like he said, he wants to go run a team one day. This will enhance his chances of doing that.
But why not just be smart in your fucking basement with your family and just run somebody's money on your computer?
Because
at
the end of the day,
I don't know.
Working in hockey is more fun.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it when you're traveling all the fucking time, Andy? I don't know.
How often does he have to travel?
A ton. He's got to go to New York, Nashville, fucking this, that. Are you
kidding?
Wait,
they were planning to stay in Nashville the whole time.
Time out.
They stayed there because of COVID.
Wait, stop. You're telling me he doesn't travel a lot for his work?
I don't know.
Are you telling me that?
I don't know.
There's no fucking way he doesn't. There's no way he doesn't travel. So my point is, I don't want to travel ever. I wouldn't. Listen to me.
That's you.
Do you?
I love traveling.
You love travel. You love leaving you love leaving Little Ty for weeks at a time and doing your shit like you're playing in the NHL where you got 3 kids with your fucking wife back home. You're telling me you like to fucking travel? The fuck on.
I don't know if I'd like to travel like that all
the
time.
I would. Not at all. For me, no way. I want to sit at home and do my own thing. If I had a Princeton degree.
And I've experienced that.
And I had a couple million.
I've experienced the NHL travel.
I know you did. It's hard fucking core. Even on a private jet, it's hardcore. Mm-hmm. You're there. You're gone away from your family. Maybe people like that. You have kids. I don't have kids. What I want to do, even if the Blues hired me for something and I'm traveling all the time, like I'd be like, I don't know if I want to motherfucking. I'd rather do a goddamn podcast with me and you sitting in my goddamn basement looking over the golf course, kicking our feet up and making good money. Why the fuck would I ever want to travel and get ridiculed by half the country all the fucking time when I have a Princeton education? I can sit in my basement and make people money and make money off people's money.
Everyone takes their own path.
Just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
To get to where they want to go. And like I said, man, I think it's a really thankless job.
It is.
I think people come down too hard. on one guy when a lot of times these decisions are made collectively. There's an entire group, there's a committee that is responsible for making these decisions when a player is suspended. So I understand people get, it's easy to sit back in your chair when you're, sipping on some Bud Light seltzers.
Yeah.
Drinking mango.
Yeah.
Watching one game.
Oh, you get creative when you're drinking mango.
Versus having to watch every game, and your balls are on the line, your feet are in the fire.
Here's another thing.
You have to make a decision and then answer the bell and confront the player and the GM and the owner face to face and say, this is why we made the decision. Dude, it's hard. That is a hard-ass job.
That's my point.
And I got all the respect in the world for him, man, for doing it.
That's my point, though.
Yeah.
You just made my point for me. Like, that's a hard job. It's stressful. Like, you get ripped online. You get people fucking hate you because you suspended a guy. Is it, if you're that smart, like, can't you simplify your life, or do you just like hockey that much? That's the question I should have asked him, and I just didn't, because he could do anything he fucking wants.
I used to see it when Chris Pronger was working in player safety, and he's got to pay attention. He's got to be available 24/7. 24/7.
11 games a day.
You go on a date. You go to a restaurant with your wife. You got to have your phone and iPad ready at all times. You never know when something's going to go down. You could be in the middle of ordering your dinner, and all of a sudden your phone's ringing. It's coming from New York. You got to look at something. You got to weigh in on something. Man, that is very difficult.
I know.
It is hard.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
But you know what, man?
He dislikes it, dude.
That's probably, listen, it's a high pressure job. Some people truly embrace a challenge like that.
Yeah, they do.
Versus, you know what? He could just go scout if he wanted to stay in hockey and just go be a pro scout.
With timeout, though.
And
you're still traveling.
It's
all travel.
This is better. You're at the league level.
Thank you.
You're in front of every general manager.
Yeah.
You're in front of every owner.
You're
attending all the league events, all the board of governor meetings. You're in the mix, dude.
You're the big boy.
You're in the mix.
You're a big decision boy. And as you bring the scout thing up, you're traveling, dude. Like, I've traveled so much in my life. I'm done, man. Like, I rather simplify, monetize, and chill. And for a guy that went to Princeton and did all this and have all these accolades and very, very smart, like, it just shows that he loves the passion of hockey, because he could sit in his fucking basement in Nashville and watch his kids grow up and not worry about Gary Bettman calling him, or fucking some dumb shit like me fucking running somebody from behind, and he's got to go there and do this thing and make a bad decision. Everybody hates him.
You think sometimes he's watching games, he's having a calm night, everything's good,
and then somebody runs
he
somebody from behind.
He wants to play golf in the morning.
And
all of a sudden, last game, last 5
Matthew
minutes,
Tkachuk fucking
somebody runs somebody.
Yeah.
And what do you think he's saying?
He's like, motherfuck. Like, I'm a tea time at Pinehurst. And I got this fucking guy running cats from behind. I don't know, man. Everything to me, and we talked about this in ins and outs and shit. Like, I just want to simplify my life and use my skill and chill. Work your ass off, but do it in a way where you're just at home and you could do it, and you're not lazy, but you're not traveling, and you're not getting ridiculed by everybody. You're not dealing with Gary Bettman, which is not. I'm saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out, man. I'm just throwing it out. I'm looking how I live my life and how I want to live it, and that's it. That's it. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. No, you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it from your own lens.
I love y'all.
But you're not being critical of what he's doing, though.
Fuck no. He's a fucking best of the best, and he's got sick ass hair, motherfucker.
How many times you fight? How many times did you fight him?
3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
You fought him in the minors too, or no?
Yep. Manchester.
How'd it go?
He fucking fell. He fell. I was gonna beak him on it, but he fell.
And he ripped your shoulder out.
He ripped my shoulder. I dug the goalie with a spear in his private area. I just saw the clip, which I hate watching, and then I switched on him, and he leaned. I fell. I tripped, and he leaned over me and pulled my shoulder.
Did he know right away?
Yeah, he let me go.
Did he?
I should have said it to him.
Yeah, you should have said it. Well, you say it now.
He let me go. He could have fucking uppercutted me right in my jaw, because I'm like, and he could have done it and knocked me out, and then I had a broken jaw and a fucking pulled shoulder or ripped out shoulder, but he helped me out, man. Like, he's a good dude.
All right, you know who else will help you out?
Who?
Car Shield, baby.
Of course they do.
CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM. CAM. Mention the promo code
What
CAM.
else would it be?
You're going to save 10%.
Shit. Yeah, baby.
A deductible may apply. We know that. Check this out. They have affordable protection plans that can save you thousands. Is there really anything else you need to know?
No. Save me
It
money.
won't cost you thousands, but it'll save you thousands.
Save me money. Save me
Isn't
money.
that unbelievable?
Simplify my life.
Isn't that unbelievable?
And save me money.
That's what they
so
do.
if my fucking starter doesn't go, if my starter goes out when I'm in downtown Eureka and everybody's watching me, and I can't even start my car when they wave goodbye to me, and I'm fucking embarrassed. Like I call them up, I'm like, oh, just put it. I got a guy coming down right now. Grab your car. Just have your parents pick you up because they live next door because you're a weirdo. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And I did that. It's so goddamn easy. Simplify.
But you were talking shit about me running out of gas.
You're an idiot.
But the reality is,
I hate
I
chirping
could
you that
have
bad.
called Car Shield because they offer complimentary 24/7 roadside
Fuck
assistance.
that. Car Shield, you listen to me and listen to me good. I'm going to do a video with you soon, and I love you all. If a dipshit like Andy runs out of gas, don't help him. Anybody else, fine. Andy, no. That's how it goes. Him and his fucking Volvo.
Roadside assistance.
Jesus Christ. You ran out of gas.
24/7.
Like a fucking joke. That's a joke. And you hurt the podcast.
Oh, did I?
You did.
How?
You did. Because people drove by and like dipshit Andy's on the fucking side of the road like an idiot. Cam, I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm like, oh, fuck, come on. No, please. I'm cool still, right? No, Andy's an idiot because he ran out of gas. We don't like you anymore. That's what happened.
Until they pop open a nice ice cold mango.
Oh, but yeah, well, that's true.
That's true.
I'm like, don't worry about Andy. Here's that mango. I'm like, oh, we like Andy now.
Bud Light Seltzer, baby. Strawberry, black cherry, lemon lime, mango. Mango, baby. And get your Christmas ugly sweater little packs that they have right now.
Dude.
Like
Great
they're sick,
holiday
ugly
gift.
Christmas sweater packs.
Holiday gift. Like, what do you guys like? What do I get my
Dude, you're
fucking
gonna
uncle?
you're gonna see this. I love the holidays.
It's like, what do you?
I love the holidays.
So do I. And it's like, what do I give my uncle? Like, I guess.
How about an ugly
like my
sweater
uncle.
pack?
I'm gonna give him some fucking beer. Like, here you go, fuck boy.
Bud Light
You
Seltzer.
haven't done shit for me. I'm gonna give you Bud Light Seltzer.
They're
That's what I'm
beautiful,
gonna do.
beautiful packaging too.
Yeah, I know, but your uncle usually doesn't do anything
But
for
you don't even have to
but
wrap.
You hook him up.
You don't even have to wrap that.
No, you just like, here you go,
Yeah.
Alki.
Here you go. Bud Light Seltzer.
Yeah,
And
drink it.
and get your holiday packs and get it now. Under a gram of sugar, 100 calories, 5% alcohol. That's good. It's unquestionably good.
Very good stuff.
Bud Light Seltzer. Keep it handsome, baby. KeepItHandsome.com and smell good. Little
Smell
body
handsome.
spray. Psst,
Smell
spray
handsome.
that all over you. Smell handsome. Get the beard moisturizer. How about some head balm? Some little paste on your hair. Some gel. Whatever you need, man. Mention the promo code Cam and Strick, and you're going to save 15%. www.keepithandsome.com. Now, get your Fight Ugly hoodie, like a lot of NHL players are starting to wear.
They are.
Get that hoodie. Fight ugly. We're fighting the ugly. We're all about fighting the bullies. We're anti-bullying here on the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Yes, we are.
So get that Fight Ugly hoodie. You've seen us wear it. Check out our Instagram. You can see the picture we took with Matthew Tkachuk, because he's fighting the bullies too.
And again, guys, if your kids are going through it, man, I got my DMs open. I'll talk to you. Addiction, bullying, all that shit. Now, will I be able to keep up with all this? It's starting to get pretty hardcore, but I'm trying my ass off. So throw it at me, and I swear to God, I'll get back to you.
And get that grooming cream too. Are
Yep.
you a therapist?
Yeah, kind of am. When you go through a lot of shit,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
When you go through a lot of shit like I did, done near fucking killing myself twice. I need to talk to people, man. I've been through it, dudes. I've been through it. I'm open. I don't give a fuck. You call me, and I'll talk you through it. I've been through it all. That's it.
Just send us
It's there,
a
baby. message.
We have a website, by the way,
Send me the message.
www.camandstrick.com. Check it out. And if you're interested in sponsorship inquiries,
Yeah.
if you just want to get a hold of us,
Well, keep this show running.
Dude.
The sponsors keep this goddamn thing going, guys.
hit us up.
It does. It's like people don't understand that sometimes. Like, why is so many like no, like the sponsors keep this thing going. This isn't like our well, we're just doing this for fun. This is our fucking livelihood. It's our baby. Help us out. If you support the sponsors, we'll keep going. We'll add more shit. We'll do fucking 3 a week. We'll do this and that. But you got to get there. You got to support the sponsors. So that's it. I'm sorry to preach to everybody.
Like Bellman.com in
asshole.
Troy. BEHLMANN.com. Bellman in Troy. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on one side. You got the Cadillac Escalade. You got the Buick Enclave and the GMC, baby. No, enough said with the GMC.
Man, listen. Okay,
You
they
got
got
so
all
many
the cars.
options with the
Look, they got
GMC.
a ton of cars.
Okay.
But your wife can go in there and buy a car. Your wife can go in there. You saw the fucking memes on Instagram with Barstool and all that shit where the swinging dick comes out like, this is a fucking baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's like, I've been saying this for months, and then these fucking things came out with the dick that I told you about, who comes out and swings his dick around And your wife's like, oh, hi, I just want to buy a car. And he's like, oh, I'm fucking wheeling you. And she's like, no, my husband's Cam, and he could fuck you up. And I could beat his ass. That's it. That's swinging dick. Stop with him. They're everywhere. Not at Bellman. They fucking respect you. Your wife can go in there. They'll take care of. They'll give you a water. They'll be like, hey, just take your time here. We'll do this, do that. Like, god damn.
Bellman.com.
Fucking swinging dick motherfuckers. Hate them.
And if you're looking for a new car, they will buy your used car.
Yeah.
And they'll pay you top dollar for it. They want your car, as a matter of fact. So head on up to Troy, Missouri, and say hi to the boys over there with Bellman.com. How about Victor Hockey? Making sick-ass hats.
People are pumping that hat up.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're like, where'd you get that hat?
I know,
man.
They never mind the Nelly AB. Well, they like that, too.
They like that, too.
But they also said, what the fuck's up with that hat, homie?
That hat with the pine tree that goes into a hockey stick.
Yeah,
cool. Or the palm tree, either one.
Yeah, cool as shit. They got good shit, dude.
Out of Denver. They got great shit.
Yep.
We've got some good shit coming on, too.
Yeah, we do.
Can't wait to unveil that very, very soon. VictorHockey.com. Check out their Instagram. Check out their Twitter, @VictorHockeyUSA. @VictorHockeyUSA, and get your hat in time for the holidays. Make a great stocking stuffer. Mention the promo code Cam and Strick, you're going to save 20%.
Damn right, baby.
That's a good-ass discount.
Fucking A.
So if it costs like $10,
holidays,
you save what, like $2.50 or something like that? Or no?
Andy, why are you asking me a mathematic question? George Parros is just on.
$2.
I don't know. 20% is 20%. Do the fucking math. You got a phone. Good Lord. Ask me questions like that.
Victor Hockey. All right, Cope24.com. Got a great email from Renee Howitt. Just all class, man.
Oh, she
is pure class. We love you, Renee, and we appreciate all those that supported the great Cope24 event that we had, the virtual event that we had going on over the course of the last week. I believe it's closed now, but we had a lot of success with that. We couldn't have done it without
and I will
all
say
of our
with
listeners.
Renee, too, like, you know how I told you I keep my DMs open for you guys, and I'll be your therapist. Like, I swear to God I will, and I love it. Renee, like, I could talk to Renee, and I'm like, I feel good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you make me feel good, girl. Like, you're just fucking awesome.
I know.
We love you. Like, you are one of our first sponsors. You stuck by us through COVID, through all this. You raise money for charity, for all this stuff. And every time I talk to you, I feel better about myself. Like, I don't know. I love you.
Cope24.com.
I do.
Check it out and appreciate all of those out there who supported what we had going on over the course of the last handful of days. All right. This has been the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 91.
Don't know any 91s. I don't know any 91s.
Drake Chagula, whatever.
Yeah, there. Caligula. Every time I see Caligula, I think of Caligula, which was a hardcore Roman cat back in the day. He like fucked cats up back in the day.
Sounds hardcore.
Hardcore. Do your fucking history on
Hardcore.
that. That was ancient times,
George
baby.
Parros, he was hardcore too.
Yeah.
And now he's making it happen as a league executive, baby. We appreciate him for coming on the Cam and Strick Podcast.